Big Tuesday, not Monday. It is Tuesday on FT Live. Kratz is here. Adam Jones is back. Pierzynski. I'm Braun. Also, what's up? You see the shirts we're wearing to rep Liam today?
Oh man, I wish I had one. I seen it this morning. I was hard not to fight back tears myself.
Hell yeah. I will send you one because I have one or two extras.
Do.
So I'm going to put a note down.
Your size. What size?
You got them?
XL?
Thank you. Okay, I'm just
Oh, I know. No, not medium. Actually, this shirt, wait, can I get a quick test? This shirt is not that tight today, correct?
Yeah, that's like extra grande for you.
Yeah, this is XL. So
yeah, man.
Yes, everyone. I want the attention to be on AJ.
No,
AJ brought the shirts back.
No. Bob Bechtel of the White Sox,
Mm-hmm.
who's their PR director.
Legend.
I asked him for the shirts, and he sent them. And you get to wear one.
Thank you, Bob.
So
I've known Bob for years as well.
Bob's but don't give it I got the shirt. So I'm Scott
well, you were looking at
I got the
Where did you get those shirts?
Well, you didn't get them?
Let's focus on what's most important because I want to hit this right from the jump. Liam Hendriks returns to a big league mound after overcoming stage 4 cancer, lymphoma. And I remember when he was talking about it initially, they said they were showing the scan and he was lit up like a Christmas tree. Like it was not good. And he comes back quick and he documents it for everyone. He did a million charitable things during the process as well. And we're showing the video right now for the podcast audience. I will say this too, Kratzy. You know I'm a rave guy. The lighting in Chicago on the south side is A++ at the ballpark.
I mean, that is AJ Pierzynski like coming into the ring at the WWE Royal Rumble. That's special. Like the video that should, if you're not amped to go out and throw your inning, not close out a game, but to throw your inning there in that, like it's awesome. I'm proud of my guy who I got traded with, who we kind of came up through the minors. He was much younger, but you know, we have a lot of really, really cool moments to share together and to see him and be able to see Christy there at the game. So proud of him.
Did you text him?
What? When? All the time.
Wait, your guys' high school doesn't do that? Because my high school lights are. My high school lights do that. I don't understand what the big deal is.
Our lights do that. They're just not on the field.
Oh, every time we hit a home run, they do the circle, and we win. They play Dancing Queen, and they bounce around.
But aren't they day games?
No, we have lights.
They have lights. It's legit.
How messed up would it have been if they checked them?
Oh my gosh! On the way in,
I just want to be devil's advocate for a second. Like if they're just like,
imagine if he was crying and it mixed with the rosin a little bit too much. Right. Sorry, sir, a little bit too much on the tears. We're gonna have to give you the boot.
You get 10 more days to relax. That would have been terrible. By the way, Kratz,
horrible.
Kratz, did you see what they put on the scoreboard last night in Chicago for Liam Hendriks? Welcome back, Liam Hendriks. He made his debut on this date. First hitter he faced was Juan Pierre. First strikeout.
Punched out AJ Pierzynski.
This guy.
You're his first strikeout.
So Kratz is talking about all this stuff. Yeah, listen, I got the ultimate relationship with Liam Hendriks forever. And they love Bob Bechtel. He loves to put that crap on the scoreboard just because he knows it, rub it in.
You think he's behind that?
Oh, he has something to do with it.
Wow.
Oh, trust me.
So that is great.
In real life, too, Liam Hendriks is one of the best relievers in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, this helps the White Sox in a bad division.
Now, 22 and 34.
Now, here's the other layer, though. Liam Hendriks, awesome. He's back. He's one of the best dudes in the game. We all love him. He might be one of the most talked about players for the rest of the season because teams pay for closers at the trade deadline. No?
Mm-hmm. One more year left.
So?
They won't.
Really?
They won't.
Under any circumstances. If you get a massive – this is a team that needs to improve their farm system. They're not a playoff team right now. No?
He's going to have to pitch. Well, first of all, he's not closing right now. He came in like the 7th inning.
He will in a week
Eventually
or two.
He will.
Yeah.
But I just don't – because the division is so bad, they're not going to like jump and say, oh, we got to hurry up and trade everybody. Because that's just not the way the White Sox in that division will do it. No team in that division. Heck, the Tigers are in second place, and we all thought they were going to lose 120 games.
What if they're 10 games out, though, when we get to the end of July?
Who's going to run away? Tell me which team in that division is going to be 10 games ahead
The
of them.
Twins can jog away.
Slowly. It's going to be a slow burn.
It's
That division needs
It needs to what?
just I don't know. There needs to be realignment. Like this shouldn't be a 30-game difference in divisions. That's not competitive. I mean, just put all the sorry teams in one division.
They are right now. They're in the AL Central.
Where they at though? Yeah,
they're in the AL Central. You know what would change it? Do like the English Premier League does. Relegate teams.
Oh,
relegate the A's. Relegate the A's and call up the best AAA team. Be like, yeah, here we go, boys.
I wish.
You don't think it would be fun?
It would be incredible, but it's like too much of a monopoly sport. Yeah,
I don't know who the best AAA.
I would call up the Vegas team.
Yeah, there you go. Be like, Oakland, you're AAA. Vegas, you're not big league.
Whoever wins the AAA championship.
Yep. Hey, whoever wins, they should switch.
Yeah, the problem is then the teams, because it's not the same players. But I mean, it would be a funny-ass idea if you could figure out how to do it.
Yeah, demote teams. I'm all about it. But right now...
Because you know what would happen?
What?
Teams would try.
Oh, yeah, they would.
Teams would damn sure try.
They would try. It's a good way to incentivize.
And the thing is I always want to tell people, when we say that, we don't mean that the players don't try.
Nope.
Yes,
team.
exactly.
The players, they can't create the team. It's the organization that is the one who is like, well, I'm just going to again, like Major League, and then they actually turn up good. You're like, oh, well, damn. That's how a lot of these teams seem to be ran. But we always, when people say that, we always say mean that the players going to give it their grind. These guys is getting a chance of a lifetime. With Oakland, these guys are getting a chance of a lifetime to go play Major League Baseball every single day, and they're going to run it and do exactly what they're doing. Britton Rooker, I never heard of him. We know he's probably going to the damn All-Star game. So it's just the organizations that just don't give them a real opportunity when it comes to spending, and it sucks. I've been on that side.
The Twins are trying. The Guardians are definitely trying. Now, the Guardians are also trying to be a mirror image of the Rays, and that's not going to work for everyone. They've done it as well as almost any other team. They're almost like the Rays of the Midwest, but they need to do a little bit more when they're in a contention window.
Difference. I did the Guardians game on Saturday.
Yeah,
against St. Louis. The Guardians are really good at developing starting pitching. Okay, starting pitching, but they don't develop a ton of position players that are great. Now they have some. Jimenez, Rosario, a lot of these guys have been traded for. Naylor, Jose Ramirez is the one guy that's really been a homegrown guy. Okay, and they don't really develop relievers either. There are a lot of, but they can develop the hell out of starting pitching. And I asked Tito, why can't? And he's like, I don't know, but he's not a development guy. He's like, I wish we could develop everybody.
Yeah,
but it's weird. Like the Rays have developed homegrown studs hitting, right? And then they make the trades and they make the moves to put guys in spots to perform and to be great at whatever it is. And whatever the Rays do, they do something. Everyone tries to be the Rays. There's only one Rays. And until someone can tell me what the hell they do, because their guys leave.
Well, ask the New York radio host. He says they just cheat.
Well, they cheat. But you know what I'm saying? Because Friedman left.
Yeah.
Right? Chaim Bloom left. All these guys,
front office guys.
All the front office guys leave, but they still. So is it Kevin Cash? Whoever their minor league director, coordinator, whatever they call it is, that's the guy I want on my organization. I'm paying him. Like, how do you develop all these dudes into dudes?
They still have really smart people in the front office. Their brain trust is still very good.
But think about who they've lost over the years.
Matthew Silverman is highly regarded. Peter Bendix, I think.
But they lost Friedman. They lost Chaim Bloom. All these
that speaks to the organization and the system that they're running too, right?
Yeah.
They have a process.
Why can't another team copy it?
Because you can't have a million of those. You still have the heavy hitters that spend. Also, the Rays, they're not going to fly forever. They're in a nice winning window for a while, but they have a higher chance of falling at some point in the next few years if they're never going to spend on players.
We've been saying that since 2008.
No, they had some down times. Stop.
When? Not really.
Stop.
Not really.
All right. Someone else take over while I
Yes.
They've
had downtime since 2008. I played in both organizations, and I saw how they treat people. You can say super smart people this, super smart people that. How people are treated in both of those organizations comes from the top. Very, very humble upper management in the front office, not necessarily just GMs, not necessarily just presidents, but they treat people a certain way. And I think they're both run completely different. I don't think Cleveland, Scotty, you said Cleveland's trying to be the Rays. Cleveland is trying to be Cleveland. And AJ, you hit it right on the head. They developed starting pitching, but their pitching formula, I've seen the pitching formula. It's actually like this is what you have to be able to accomplish. And they type it into the computer, and then they say, okay, well, you're not going to succeed. We don't think you're going to succeed at AAA, so we will not move you up without you accomplishing these things. And that formula does nothing for their relief pitchers. But the starting pitchers, that formula really has been solidified, and it's been awesome. But the Rays continue to, the people they bring in, I'm telling you, like, I don't know how else to say it. They're good people. And I think it is cash. I think it is the different people in the front office, but they're good people in the sense that how they take care of people, how they all have a say. While somebody has to make the decision, everybody's open to be able to do certain things and have creativity in certain areas.
I don't know their front office as well. Obviously, never played there, but playing against them from 08, basically, I mean, from 06, from when I got called up to, finish playing, they always were competitive, no matter what. Even, there were obviously 08, they became really good, and they ran off, say, 3 or 4 years, and then there's a couple years down, the Orioles got a little bit better. But they always remain competitive, and a thorn in our ass, a thorn in the Yankees' ass. They played him so well. I mean, obviously, they had some big thumpers, too, with Longo, Pena, the Upton, BJ, Melvin, whatever you want to call him these days. That's my dude. But they always had talent, and they always pitched, and they played competitive games. They played fast on the base paths, really good defense. And then they got younger. They got, with Desmond Jennings and Kiermaier. Like, they always played the game hard, and it seems like they played it with a chip on their shoulder. But again, whoever's in that minor league, AJ, you hit it on the head. Whoever is controlling that system, and I said it a long time ago, whoever taught that organization to change up and how to play the game correctly, they need to get paid a lot of money. And I don't know why they're not in some organization. They might be paying this dude hitting coach money or something like that, because their system just produces well-played baseball players. They play the game well every single night. They don't give away outs. They take the extra base. And again, it's a team that struck out all the damn time. It's kind of annoying because they just put the ball in play and make things happen. And that's a formula that works. But behind the scenes, whoever's running that ship, kudos, because it's just efficient.
So I'm looking at it from 2008, okay?
Mhm.
Lost in the World Series. 2009, 84 wins. 2010, 96, 91, 90, 92.
Really good till 13.
Say then 14, 77, okay. Then 15, 80, and 82, okay.
Okay.
Then they have a bad year, 68, 94, okay. Then they go 80 wins, 90 wins, 96 wins, 40 and 20 in the COVID year, and they lost in the World Series. 100 wins in 21, lost in the DS. Last year they won 86, lost in the wild card, and this year they're 39 and 17. So they've had 2 bad years since 2008. In 15 years, they've had 2 bad, really 1 bad year when they won 68. But other than that, I mean, there's a lot of organizations 80 and 82. They'd be like, whoo.
Yes. Now, my point is they had that little run where they weren't a playoff team. It's not like the Yankees where
they went 5 years without the playoffs.
Yeah.
But still, they're also not the Yankees with their budget. So
they're also not scrapping it down like the Astros, Cubs, Tigers, A's right now. They didn't have to do, multiple Orioles, multiple 100+ loss seasons. So I give them credit on that front too. And guess who else didn't do that after they made it to the World Series? Who, the Rays?
I mean, when they were the Devil Rays, they were
right.
Yeah,
we're talking about since 2008.
Yeah, no, I agree. But since 08, which is a lot now, 15 years, right? Where a lot of other teams have done the 100+ loss seasons for multiple years. The Rays didn't do that recently. Guardians didn't do that.
No, Terry Francona.
They didn't rebuild.
Listen,
they
Terry
reloaded
Francona,
very briefly and went
I
right back
asked him
up.
on Saturday, how the hell do you do this?
Mm-hmm. What did he
say?
say?
He just smiles. He's like, you know, it's an organ. I'm like, Tito, how do you do this? Because you look at your team on paper, you look at the Guardians, you say, how do they win?
We said that last year.
Because you look at them and you look at their offense. Their offense is awful. Awful. They score the least amount of runs in baseball. They're awful. And yet they find a way to pitch their asses off and they win games and they get a big hit. And it's like Jose Ramirez is always up with the game on the line. And he gets the hit. It's like it's always him.
Stop pitching to him.
Did on Saturday when I was doing the game. The Cardinals, he came up 3 times with a runner on second. And I'm like, walk him. And he got one hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the only run the Guardians scored. They lost 2-1 extra innings. But every time they needed a hit, guess who was up? Jose Ramirez. Like, dude, Josh Naylor's on deck. No offense to Josh Naylor. He's a good player. Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor. I'm pitching to Josh Naylor.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just am.
You don't have to apologize. Everyone would do the same thing.
But
no, I know.
It's like, how does he come? How is it always him up?
They pitch, though. That's the thing. And that's why even
They
now
pitch
when
their
they
asses
look
off.
bad. And I will say one thing on your note. Yes, like, for example, Clase is their best reliever. He's a stud. He's one of the best in the game. They traded for him in the Kluber deal. That was a brilliant trade by Cleveland. Their relief pitching is number 2 in ERA right now. And last year it was one of the best also. So they do have good relievers. And some of those starters that don't pan out into the bullpen, up to the bigs. So overall, they can pitch.
Yeah. True. No, that's what they have to do. Because they damn sure can't hit.
No. They're the worst hitting team in the league right now.
By far.
You got to hear
Worse than the
that. You
eighth.
got to hear that Super Mario's brother sound when you get a coin. They
didn't do that. They didn't do that. And they used to do the Pac-Man too. When you
They don't do that coin anymore?
Uh-uh.
Did Mario take his trademark?
I think
No, they do it this year. I know they do it this year.
Well, they only scored 1 run in the game I did, so I didn't.
Maybe you just missed it. No,
I'm sure they still do it.
Years. Yeah, they do the coin.
And you know what else was the drummer's not there anymore, but he passed away.
Yeah.
I know, but it's still weird to go in there. I think it's John Adams, right? Is his name? It's just weird. We said on the air they should have like celebrity or get a fan to sit there and still, because it's just different. Because for so many years you'd go in there. And he was there, and they get a guy on base, and you just start boom, boom, boom. You're like, oh my gosh, here we go.
It's annoying for the opposition.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
But you just hear it, and it was like from the 5th inning on, you just heard him. I don't know. That dude had to have the best
No, you're right. Yeah, just
rhythm.
Yeah,
I couldn't keep that rhythm.
They should
whatever muscles you would use, like shoulders, forearms,
belts.
Boom, boom, boom.
They should bring it back. I agree. That would be
be
cool.
like a
to honor.
celebrity, or pick a fan, win a fan to come and do the drum for a couple innings, or just something, because it was cool. It was like a thing there.
Yeah, and they don't have many things there.
They have good food there, though.
Yeah, they have good food, but some type of cool tradition.
Yeah.
I'm in for that. I agree.
And they're about to put $200 million into Progressive Field and redo the whole thing. I think starting next year, they're taking all the clubhouses, taking those like warehouse things in right field where all the retired numbers are, putting like the deck like in Coors Field. People come out to Cleveland when they're good.
Yes. Well, also for you guys, last thing, when they do that, doesn't that not make you want to sign with them more? I mean, if 2 teams are pretty equal money and you're like, Cleveland, their clubhouse sucks. I was there. Now, if it's brand new and it's nice, doesn't that make you want to go there more? You got to spend a lot of time in there.
Adam's like, hell no.
Hell no.
But wait a minute. Hold on.
What's the other offer?
The other offer is Detroit.
Oh, you're going to Cleveland.
I'm going to Cleveland.
As a hitter, you're going to Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
As a hitter, you're going to Cleveland.
My point is, a good clubhouse can't hurt. No.
Dude, have you ever been in Baltimore's clubhouses?
A lot easier center field to play in Cleveland.
You ever been in Baltimore's clubhouses?
Yeah,
Yes.
They need to refurbish.
I haven't been in their clubhouses in a while, and I bet they haven't changed.
They have not changed. They suck. They
need
still
to
got
be
the old wood
refurbished.
lockers from like whenever they opened, 94. What year did they open? 95? They still got the same damn lockers.
Yeah.
We got to get Jonesy's designer in there and freshen the place up a little bit.
they've changed it a little bit. They've added I remember when I first got in there, the kitchen was no bigger than a closet, and it had a Bunsen burner, the George Foreman. I remember that. And then we went through a renovation, and we got a kitchen and like a lounge in there, and that was like I think like 2011 or 12 or something. And we got a chef, and it became a really nice clubhouse. Again, still had the old wood, and it sucked because in September when they brought the 40-man guys in, they would bring them in and like they'd wheel the lockers in because they took them from the back. And these guys just sitting in the middle of the clubhouse, and they had to move away our ping pong table and pool table because these slap dicks had to come up. But hey, you know what? I'm glad that these guys got to make their debuts and share their dream come true.
You sound like it.
Yeah.
Sound like it really put you out because they took
Oh.
away your ping pong table. Damn! Hey, way to go! Congratulations, dude! You took away my ping pong table. You slap dick.
Hey, watching JJ Hardy and Nick Markakis play ping pong was a treat. Okay, and I got to sit there first row.
Tell you what was
They
my-
should have made room so that they had both. They could renovate the place. These people are all billionaires.
true.
Renovate the
By
place.
the way,
and
the
make a
best part
ping
about
pong
going to
room.
Baltimore was the crew on the visiting side. You had Fred. I think he's now the home guy.
Yeah,
And then
Freddie
you had-
Tyler.
Then
The
you had
clubby.
Butchie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
ooh.
Butchie did everything for you, and then you had Robert, right? The dude, Robert
Bobble.
bobblehead,
Yeah.
and then you had I think it was George was the guy that would cook in there. It was like
I
an
don't
older
know him.
gentleman. He was like the older
Okay.
man who would sit there. He'd sit in the little kitchen that was no bigger than his desk. And you have his George Foreman. They love potato bread for some reason in Baltimore. He'd be like, "You want a hamburger or a hot dog on your potato bread?" And you just sit there, and you're like, "What are the other options?" He's like, "You want a hot dog or a hamburger on potato bread?" And you're like, "Guess I'll go with the hamburger."
Oh.
And Old Bay seasoning.
Old Bay on everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh,
Hey,
and then
Butchie
we
would
go-
do anything for you, man.
Oh, Butchie was the man. I love Butchie.
Oh, he'd take you anywhere. And he's riding around in a 250 too, or 2500. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, nasty.
We used to prank
Love
Butchie
it,
so
dude.
bad he'd get so mad at us. We used to just get
Hey man, leave me alone, man.
leave me alone. Yeah, just like Jonesy said, leave me alone. Quit messing with me, man. Why y'all play messing with my emotions? I love Butchie.
man. Butchie's great.
So, by the way, I forgot to mention our guests today. Coming up in about a few minutes, we have Rob Friedman, pitching ninja, super creator, influencer. Excited to talk to you guys. Rowdy Tellez. Ever heard of him?
I'm
It's pretty
excited.
funny.
I'm gonna bitch him out when I get
Rowdy?
hold of him. Yeah.
Apparently, there was some funny video. I got to find it if I can during the show of him mic'd up recently. I'll ask him about it. And then
That's
Evan
good.
Mendoza, who's a minor leaguer, but he's also an influencer, super creator.
Yeah, finally
Yeah.
get his ass on here.
Exactly. You know him, Jonesy.
Yeah.
So you'll run that
Yeah, I've seen his
interview.
page.
Can't wait. And
Well, I
Jackson,
mean-
yes, we saw Jose Abreu. We'll get to that. Don't worry.
Oh, it's coming.
Wait, but before we do that,
I think we
also,
should wait. We should probably wait till Frazier's on to talk about Jose Abreu since he said he was going to lead the league.
Oh,
in
we're gonna
homers.
do it twice, obviously.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's so good. It needs to be talked about multiple times. But I also wanted to mention this: Pete Alonso and Doug Mankiewicz from Legends territory made this umbrella company brand very talked about over the weekend. So, Jonesy, we had Mankiewicz
heard.
talking about. Oh, you heard, huh?
Yeah.
Everyone, you can look it up.
Yeah.
Legends
Yeah.
territory
No,
is available.
Please talk
on
about it again. No,
Yeah.
please talk about
where,
it again.
Where do you want to begin? Because we haven't had you on since either of
Oh,
those
I mean,
occurrences.
well, obviously it was a very shitty situation, but what a glorious situation nonetheless. I mean, Pete, come on, man. That's amazing. Most people ground out and don't even run down the line. You lucky. You get a tank and you went to the tank.
It's going to be a go-to question. Like, obviously, I'm going to ask Rowdy if he's had
It's
to
amazing.
run to the bathroom lately, and what was the result of that AB.
Mhm.
Ooh.
You missed it too. You were
I
out.
missed it.
You guys are out.
Listen, I mean, I don't know about these other. I got my own story. We ain't telling on right now though,
Why?
because we don't have enough time
Okay.
to tell all the details about this story.
You have a bathroom story?
Oh yes, I do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We'll tell it one day.
I'll file it in the cabinet.
Yeah, one day we'll have time. We only have 2 guests, so we need to fill about 20 minutes.
Fine. Jonesy, so Pete said, he was like, if I get walked, I'm getting picked off. I was like, so have you had a time where you're like, yo, I got to go to the bathroom, and it's just swing, ground ball, see you later. I'll be back for the next AB.
Yeah, but it's like if I'm leading off, it kind of like goes away for some reason. You know what I mean? But or I've just like have real like I don't know if I'm on deck generally. If I was on deck and I'd take my batting gloves off and I'd put them in my back pocket because especially at the end I couldn't get to the batter. I couldn't get in to the dugout as quick anymore. I was tired. So I would just have my batting gloves and try to get them on as soon as possible so I can just put on the shin guard and the helmet and get as many swings. But if you have to use the bathroom, man, you got to do what you got to do and take one swing and let it rip. But the adrenaline when you get in the batter's box to take over. So if you got to use the bathroom, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Oh, it was impressive, Pete. Over the
nothing
weekend.
of his drasticness.
No,
ironic, Jonesy, that you said about being on deck. Like you got one on deck and you're on deck. Like it gets scared back in. Like you can't.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand about Pete's story.
Like, right. I'm like,
or does it?
No, you know what my favorite part of it
not
is?
Or does it?
the mushroom coffee. Just let it go.
Yo, think about someone on like that broadcast, say, that has to break down what just happened, right? Because you do Fox every weekend. The home runs hit, they show the replay, and someone probably had to be, or someone on Twitter's like, brilliantly done by Pete, sitting first pitch, hanging slider. He knew that Hunter was going to go against him that way, and it's just like ... Nope, poop homer.
Exactly.
I had so many texts this weekend where people were like, I'll read one. Go ahead. Because there was
no, but that's the human element of baseball. Everyone thinks like, oh no. Well, so guess what? Sometimes you just gotta poop.
You're like, so what? Someone goes, I know you guys are already big, but the notion of Alonso's asshole launching you guys to the stratosphere is endlessly funny to me. Just so many good lines. And some Mets people that I know who were like, Pete just won over millions of fans, right? You're not a baseball fan. You just follow like ESPN's, 30 million followers, whatever they have on IG. They post it, and you're like, yo, I don't even like baseball, but this dude is a legend.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
We're growing the game. Okay?
Everybody thinks that like you can't deny that a fart is not funny. So anytime like if you could figure out a way to dress up for Halloween as a fart, it would be the greatest costume of all time. Like farting and poop jokes they're funny for everybody. Even people who are like, ew, that's disgusting. They're still kind of like inside, like a little smile.
It resonates.
Hey, for the two catchers, real quick. It was an umpire. He came in our bathroom in Kansas City and shitted and staked, I swear to, in just the whole dugout for 2 innings. And he was the umpire. He's older, and he had the bent, messed up elbow, and he'd just be like, bah. He's an older guy. You guys had him on his hot breath on your neck. I can't think of his name. But he's in Kansas City. He came and they dug, and I remember that because Buck was like, "Who did that?" But he was at second base for the games, so I remember Buck doing something just to go argue out there. They probably called him a rotten mother or something.
We had a guy.
You don't know who it was?
Guys, just went like this.
No guesses.
He was an older umpire. He had a bad elbow, and he's older dude, thinner built, taller. He should be like, older.
We'll get the research staff on
this weekend in my son's tournament in Fort Myers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the last game they played. Middle of the inning, during a batter, home plate umpire, timeout, whoop,
bathroom.
Gonzo, stop the game. All right, we're just going to wait. We'll just sit here all day. Comes back like 5 minutes later.
Well, it's that or he's calling every pitch a strike.
We were in the field, so I was okay with it.
Also, props to Kratzy, and let's bring in our guest. Props to Kratzy for knowing exactly which homer it was instantly, which is insane. I mean, he was at 19, I think, homers at that point, and he's like, "Oh, was it one in Cincinnati where he went to right on a blah blah blah?" It was like, "Yep, that's good." I got a lot of impressive text on that one too. Let's bring in our first guest of the day on FT Live, Rob Friedman, pitching ninja, joining us right now. What is that noise?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I just had
what?
What's going on there, big fella?
He didn't time his pregame coffee.
Yeah, dude. I am sorry. I just sometimes can't time everything.
Hey, you're human, Rob. So is Pete Alonso. What did you think of that over the weekend? And I mean, because you do a great job analyzing pitches, obviously, and everyone can follow him. I'll give all the plugs there, but I just thought it was funny where, I pay attention to so much deep analytical content, and there's definitely someone out there who wanted to write a little blurb about why Pete swung first pitch, and we just completely shat on that theory.
I was waiting to like put a tail on it or something, like do like an overlay, something to make it interesting, right? Like I could do that. I'll go back and do it.
He can do that. Exactly. Yes. We will look for that on Pitching Ninja.
Yeah. Rob, who's your favorite pitcher right now?
That's a really tough question. Probably Strider right now, I would say. Love watching Ohtani. McClanahan's awesome, but like there's something about Strider and his dominance that's a lot of fun to watch.
Have you heard the story about me and Strider? Have you heard this story?
Oh no, what did you do?
No, I keep asking the Braves to let me stand in for his bullpens because so I couldn't get anybody to agree to it. So I did a game 2 weeks ago, and Spencer said, "Yeah, if you're in town and I'm throwing a bullpen, just make sure you wear a helmet and a lot of protection." And I was like, "That's fine. I've been hit by plenty of dudes, but I want to see this because everyone you talk to says it's different." And I'm like, "Well, what does different mean?" And I watched him. I stood from me to Scott away as he threw his bullpen a couple weeks ago. I mean, it comes out. Shoo, I mean it now, but until you stand in there and you actually are like, "Oh man, I want to see this," but I want to see it live and in person. So I'm working on it.
Yeah, well, they had a great view on Sun. It doesn't do it justice, right? Like you're seeing a view from the umpire cam, and it looks great. I mean, the ball's coming at you, it keeps its playing well, but still, standing in the box is way different.
Okay, so you named McClanahan, Strider, Rob. I feel like you didn't go out on a limb. Who's a guy that we don't know about? Who's a guy we don't know about?
I mean, did you watch Ben Joyce yesterday?
I was just going to say, you can't say Ben Joyce. Like, you've been throwing him up since he was in Tennessee.
Let's go out on a limb. Who would be? How about Jimmy Herget? Do you ever watch him?
Oh,
he throws, throws like Uncle Rico a little bit. It's fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
he throws a stake up there. Hit a homer against him in AAA. So I appreciate you saying that, Rob. But anyway,
I did that to just bring that up.
Yes.
I also want to know, like, do you have your knuckleball grip by any chance?
I do. You can see it if you want. I appreciate you putting me out on socials. Your post gets more retweets of my knuckleball against Rafael Devers. I threw plenty before that, but you never showed them. It was just that one because you are, as AJ would like to say, New York bias.
No.
He sure doesn't sound New York biased.
No.
He sounds like he's from the South somewhere.
I am from the South. My camera's all jacked up.
Your camera's New York biased right now.
It is. Let me fix this.
I want to know.
Perfect.
I want to know what the hell is a sweeper and what the hell is an unknown. So in Miami, when single stage just says unknown, and then the sweeper phenomenon. Is it a curveball?
No.
Slider? Sweep? What the hell is a sweeper?
So, all right, well, let's get into it. A sweeper is basically a slider. People have been throwing sweepers for like forever, occasionally. The big thing now is we're able to replicate it better with all the technology. So we can make a pitch that goes predominantly horizontally. It's still a drop. I mean, it's hard to differentiate from a slider, but it's a subcategory of sliders. Just like a square is a subcategory of rectangles, or a two-seamer is a fastball, but a different type of fastball. Knuckle curve is a curveball, but a different type of curveball. It's just another categorization to describe something that is taking place more. We're throwing more horizontally breaking sliders, so we want to differentiate from the gyro slider, this bullet spin slider that goes kind of straight down. Does that make any sense?
So, okay, it does. So, like remember Allen with the Indians? He threw a boatload of sliders. Would you consider that a sweeper? Because it was a power curveball. It swept. Ottavino is more horizontal.
Yeah. Cody Allen, you're talking about, right?
Cody Allen.
There's been a lot of Allens in Cleveland since.
Shaw also.
Yeah, and it'll kind of depend. Like sometimes it's an arm angle thing, and an arm angle makes it look like it's sweeping. You'll have like a Chris Sale dropping down, and it's not really a sweeper. It's a slider that's thrown with that trajectory. But a sweeper is more because of the spin on the ball and really the seam orientation. Again, really deep into like science crap. But if a ball's positioned the right way, the seams kind of take over and will make the balls break a ton. So yeah, Ottavino would be one of those guys. Corey Kluber is kind of the godfather of it. He called his a breaking ball or a curve ball, but it's really kind of the genesis of all this sweeper stuff. Everybody saw it and said it was so tough to hit. And now people can replicate it by using slow-mo cameras, things like Hawkeye and other stuff.
Some pitchers love calling it that, and we've been classifying that on many TV broadcasts. Some pitchers don't. We had Chris Bassett on, and he's like, no, it's just a slider. Call it a slider, even though there are two different types of sliders like you're talking about. I just showed AJ side by side of Bryce Miller's sweeper grip and gyro slider grip. And the grips are very different, very easy to differentiate the two. So shouldn't we just be classifying this as a separate pitch like many are doing? Do we have to push back against some of the current and former players here?
I would push back, and I have pushed. I talked to Sonny Gray about it. So Sonny Gray started saying, I don't know why we have a sweeper. It's basically a slider. I'm like, well, think about a two-seamer versus sinker. They're both spinning on two seams, right? And, you can't, but one may not drop as much. One, your seam orientation is different, so it's going to drop. The other, you really don't want it to drop. You want it to kind of break towards the plate mostly. And he was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I see that. Like if it has more vert, it's this. And so if you explain it, they kind of get it. But it's really combined for hitters. Like if you're a hitter and you know that some pitchers have both, like Bryce Miller has both. And if you have both, do you say he has two different sliders, or you can say he has a slider and a sweeper so you can visualize the movement? I think it's a little easier to communicate. I'm not, I don't get any money from like people saying sweeper. I'm not getting like kickbacks on it, but I do understand why we do it.
Okay,
But
two
with,
things.
I'm saying with velocity, sorry, real quick, but we're talking about grips. There's a lot of people throw knuckle curveballs different sorts of ways, change ups different sorts of ways. So just because you grip something, he grips it differently, doesn't necessarily change the pitch. Like circle change, you grip them, the four seam change up, or you just turn them over and throw that two seam change up, or however you want to throw the pitches. So does grip necessarily just classify as a pitch?
Sometimes not. Like there's a split change. You can throw a split change, right? And that's a change up with a split grip. You have knuckle curve, which is it's a curveball, but it's just a different grip on a curveball. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. With a sweeper, it's more about the movement and less about the grip. So it's more about something that traditionally people wanted to throw a slider that had bullet spin and drop more straight down. Whereas a sweeper, everybody's like, you don't want your slider to sweep. You don't want it to have this slurvy action. You want it to be tight and go down. Now it seems like with people focusing on more launch angle swings, you're able to get towards the end of the bat, just get off the barrel a little bit with it. And sometimes hitters run out of bat because of that horizontal movement.
No, Rob, Scott brought up Bryce Miller. He doesn't throw a slider. He throws like 92% fastballs or something crazy. He just so why do he care how he throws his damn sweeper? He literally goes, woo, fastball, woo, fastball,
Fastball,
woo, fastball. He doesn't throw anything else. He took over for Peralta, right? So you're bringing up Bryce Miller. Like, dude, he doesn't even throw a slider. So he will. He can hold it however he wants. It doesn't matter. But so you on your Twitter, you had Ben Joyce, 102 mile an hour with handballs, whatever you want to call it. Is that really classified a sinker at 102? I know on the TV it says sinker. I'm like, that's not. It's 103 miles an hour. It just moves because he kind of gets around it a little bit. It's not like he's trying to make it go down, right?
No, and I totally agree with you on that. Like, I think what happened is StatCast was calling every two-seam pitch a sinker. And we all know the difference between a sinker and a two-seamer. That was something we generally would call something that breaks arm side. And they just lumped them all in together. They've now said, all right, sinker / two-seamer, which is a little better. But I don't consider what Ben Joyce was throwing a sinker. I think it's more like an alien two-seamer rising thingy. Like, it's just nasty.
What, 104?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a pitch that hasn't been developed yet? With all this information, all this stuff, what is, and if there is a pitch that hasn't been developed, what is it? Where are people searching the outer reaches of pitch development?
That's a super question, because just recently we discovered that you look at the whole history of baseball, right? We've been playing this game for forever, and we only thought that there were certain forces on the baseball that made it move the way it did. It's Magnus force, basically rotating, and it's either going to go up or down. You have your 12-6 curveballs, blah, blah, blah. We just realized recently that if the ball can spin asymmetrically so that one seam kind of hits the air differently, and that seam creates a wake behind the ball, which makes it move weird. We were able to do it with two seamers and changeups. We just realized with the sweeper that you can do it with a sweeper. I'm assuming there are other things you can do with that, like knowing that that actually makes the ball move differently. There are different orientations of the baseball that can make it move differently. I just don't know the answer. It may be like an Erik Kratz knuckleball that just catches a seam a certain way and has a sick movement.
Sounds delicious.
Hey, let's move to sticky stuff. So these guys have all been very vocal about it. So has almost every pitcher that's been on this show. And we have multiple guests every day. So I wanted to get your take and the conversations that you have with current MLB pitchers about what's next here. Because yes, it's not a daily problem, but it's still a massive problem when there are pitchers being suspended. There's confusion, there's washing hands, there's judging how sticky a hand is. And most importantly, almost any pitcher we talk to doesn't know or understand the rules and protocol.
That's the problem. That's the problem as I see it too. How can it depend on the umpire and what the umpire just feels that day? Could be the umpire's hand's a little sticky or sweaty or different in a day. And it depends on the weather. It depends on so many different things. And the pitcher doesn't do anything different. Pitcher could be putting on the same amount of rosin, but one day it's stickier than the other. I don't think having it as a subjective thing is a good idea. I think we have enough information now where we can look at spin rates during the game. We know a historical spin rates. Maybe if it's a new guy, we don't. But if you have someone like Max Scherzer, you know where his spin rates lie. You even know what weather, how it affects it. We can say, all right, there's something out there. It's varying way too much. Let's check him. But the idea that we're just going to rely on an umpire touching someone's hand to say, this is too sticky, this is okay, this one I'm going to let wash, this one I'm not. Come on. Like, why are we going that way in the game instead of using stuff that we know works? Like, we can determine this stuff.
Everything else is done biometrically and stuff. Why can't we get that? I love that you said that. Do you think there's any one thing that's launched your content more than sticky stuff?
Ooh. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things. I think at one point, getting my account shut down from Twitter launched my account even more when I came back. It's just because MLB was like, wait a second, we actually love what you do. We just want to, we want it to be more official. And to me, that really helped. But yeah, sticky stuff is a big deal. It gets every fans have strong opinions. And definitely, like, when you use sticky stuff, the pitches are nastier. So I kind of like that. That's fun, right?
Have you been able to grab or use, play with any other balls, like, the Japanese ball? Obviously, because obviously I played in Japan, so their ball comes in, looks like a little chocolate. It has a little tackiness already, so they don't need to rub it up or anything like that. So have you had the experience of using a different ball? And I think Major League pitchers need to try these things and see if it spins, because there should be a universal ball at this point.
Should be.
God,
1,000% agree. I don't understand why we don't do it, except I think they're trying it out right now. And it had some really weird results in that, like, pitches were moving in ways that we don't even see at MLB level. So it was like too sticky maybe. But we can figure this out. Like, this isn't rocket science. We can get a ball that a pitcher can hold on to. A hitter knows he's not going to wear one every time because the pitcher loses control, but it doesn't give a pitcher an unfair advantage. Like, we all want the same thing. We want the game to be kind of even. Of course, I mean, I'd rather it be shaded towards the pitcher and nasty stuff, but I'm okay with it being even. We could do that.
Rob, so you're saying what you just said doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Because you just said MLB will figure this out. Do you know how hard it is for MLB to figure out anything? They can't. You think they're going to figure out a universal ball? They can't figure out.
Japan has it figured out.
I didn't say Japan.
They're
I said
better than we.
baseball. You really think that they're going to come up with a ball that everybody's going to agree and be like, oh, that's it? No chance. No chance, because there's too many people that are going to get, oh, it doesn't feel right on my two-seamer. My sweeper's not sweeping anymore. Like, no, it's not. It's going to take forever because they're just going to start arguing until it comes down to dollars and cents.
Yeah, but we argue about everything, right? Like, it's got to do something. I mean, we did get rid of sticky stuff for the most part. That was a good thing, I think, because it was getting ridiculous. I mean, even as a pitching guy, you're watching it. And this ball shouldn't move that way. So we can probably agree on something. Like, just give me something a little bit, something other than an umpire feeling a dude's hand and going, yeah, I think that's the stickiest hand I ever felt. Like, what kind of standard's that?
No.
There isn't a standard.
I mean,
that's the problem.
that
That's
is
the
the
problem. There's no
problem.
standard.
It's terrible.
But don't you think guys create more torque than they did in previous generations to be able to make the ball move because we're bigger, stronger, faster than each generation?
Yeah, 100% agree on that. Yeah, definitely. But adding sticky stuff to it, yeah, like then it's doubly unfair, right? Like,
plus everyone throws. You're talking about sticky stuff. Adam's talking about torque. That's the reason I feel like we get more injuries, though. Yes, we're bigger, stronger, faster, but at the same time, we're asking guys to do more stuff that nobody's ever been able to do. And like, we'll use Ben Joyce. He's never pitched back-to-back games. He's never pitched back-to-back days. He's in the big leagues. Phil Nevin's going to go, man, I like this 102-mile-an-hour super ball this dude throws. Let's throw him again today. Well, guess what? He pitched yesterday. He needs 2 days off. Like that. Maybe it's not the sticky stuff in the. Maybe it's we need to develop guys to be able to do more things and just go out there and throw 107 every pitch.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that, because as a competitor, you're always going to go. I mean, you go balls out, right? Like you don't beat somebody with going, I'm going to go 80%. You're put in there, you're going to go 100%. And these guys are bigger and stronger and faster and are going, balls to the wall every time out. Yeah, stuff. If you redline a car, things break. If you redline a pitcher, sometimes things break. I also think, though, we have better ways of fixing these injuries. So some injuries that may not have been fixed back in the day, because some surgeries are more successful now, you may see more of them, even though these injuries were happening back in the day. Think of like open heart surgery. You didn't see open heart surgery in the 1880s because your patient would die every time. But once it became good enough, you said, hey, we can do this. And now you can do it like an outpatient surgery. So as that surgery and as these things get better, you're able to take care of it quicker, and maybe a nagging injury or something that you would have lived with and pitched through, you're now getting taken care of and fixed. So that could be some of it.
I want to take us in another direction here on marketing the sport and individual players, because that's something that you've done a brilliant job of over at Pitching Ninja, of course, on Twitter, IG, YouTube, etc. So where do you think we need to go next? You and I have spoken about this too, right? We want to bring out those Pete Alonso poop homer stories and humanize these guys, but also have the game be able to connect with a more casual fan, right? And we still get into the deep, like this discussion, baseball topics. So where do you think we're at? Obviously, I'm the only non-player here. So with our player hosts, what do you think they can do to contribute to the game being displayed in the best way possible? Because our sport has super cool personalities too that I think we still need to tap into.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that some of it is stuff like you're doing, like, give me all the poop stories. Give me these personal anecdotes that people can relate to. Like, everybody's been in a car and had a poop at some point, or like wanted to get something done with. So you can sit there and go like, what if I was facing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and had a poop? That would suck. But giving more personality, letting personalities out. But also, I think sometimes it's a little bit less of going the back in my day. Yeah. Oop.
Did you have to poop?
No, are you good?
Stuff like
here?
This is perfect. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like no, we're all human. Have to poop during the ninja segment.
Rob, we'll expect hats and shirts from you for all of us. Scott wears a extra small, and the rest of us are adult size. So
AJ's on fire today.
So we'll expect some Pitching Ninja shirts.
But let him finish. Yeah, finish.
Well, he had to go. He said.
What?
No, I'm fine. I don't have to go. I'm good.
No, I think he was getting a call or something.
Oh, okay.
Which happens.
Yeah, no, I just heard stuff on my headset. I was like, what is going on?
Oh, I know who that was, by the way, just to give everyone a little inside info. Rowdy Tellez just checked in. So you probably heard him.
Yeah, Rowdy, what is up? Why are you doing this to me, my man?
Rowdy would love to actually bomb any interview.
Yeah, exactly.
That is very Rowdy.
Just did it.
Yes. But no, just to finish on this one, I want to hit home on this if we can.
Yeah, so I think the big thing is what you guys are doing. I want to see more personalities. I want to see less back in my day. Like, we can all tell stories. Every generation's got this. back in my day, we didn't stay on the internet. We didn't play video games. We read books, or we worked on the farm all day. No one cares. Like, nobody cares. We want to hear like what these players are doing today. There's a reason why we're throwing sweepers. There's a reason why pitchers are throwing harder. And it's because a lot of this stuff works. And if we start thinking about that and saying, hey, if I had this technology, what would I have done? Would it have changed anything? Or I don't like this technology, but I understand why it's important. I think being able to contextualize it and stop crapping on today's game, but more bringing out personalities in today's game and then showing why these guys are ridiculous. Like, not like, well, he's no Joe DiMaggio. I want to hear why you should love these guys. And then people fall in love with the game.
I did work with Mad Dog, and half the players were compared to Joe DiMaggio if they weren't good enough.
That's
so
it. That was exactly who I was. Yeah, and
exactly.
That was who I was. I was taking a shot.
Got to watch the current game. Yeah, Adam loves him, so he's probably going to spend 5 minutes on Mad Dog later for yelling at Marcus Stroman for being too emotional. But that's another topic.
So annoying. He compares everybody to people from the '60s. Nobody watched that.
Yeah,
totally agree.
Alive for that. So
yeah, exactly. Damn.
Did he really crap on Stroh for being too emotional too?
Yeah, he's like, oh well, Whitey Ford wouldn't have done that. Well, no shit. Damn.
Exactly.
That,
I love give me all that stuff. Yeah, totally agree with you. Nobody wants to watch a bunch of guys with blank faces play the game and not see any personality. You have a bunch of kids that would, you want to see emotion. You want to see somebody. I talked to Devin Williams and he said, don't act like you've never done it before. Act like you've done it before. Act like you've never done it before. And this is something no one's ever seen, so that everybody gets into it and they get fired up. In soccer, you don't score a goal and just walk off like, yeah, I just scored a goal. Everybody goes crazy.
Exactly. I'm with you. Hey, Rob, this was awesome catching up with you. Would love to have you back. And obviously you got Adam going now, so we'll continue that in a little bit and get Rowdy in here. But hey, great catching up with you. There were about 80 poop puns too, which is perfect timing. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rob. You can follow Rob's amazing content at Pitching Ninja on Twitter, IG, and on YouTube. It's at Pitching Ninja Videos. So good combo there. And Rowdy Tellez coming up in a couple minutes. But there were a lot of poop puns in there. Now, I'm not going to be able to escape that. But on that topic, I did see, last Friday we were texting with Jonesy because he was tweeting, shut up, sad dog, enough of your crap about Stroman. And we talked about Stroman actually for a few days, not only touching on, that game, but then the next day we spoke to Pete Alonso about it on Friday. And we said, hey, Pete, got any problems or you or the Mets with anything he did? He was like, hell no. He's like, we got to play better. And also, let the kids play. Let's show some emotions. We've been talking about that forever. So if somebody's pissed off about a player going like this and pointing to a dugout, really, then we are so soft as a sport if you're a fan like that.
You got to realize, sad dog is what I like to call him. He don't like to put things in context. He grew up a Mets fan. He grew up in Long Island. He played for him. He's incurred.
No, he didn't play for him.
He played what? He played for him?
For the Mets.
Who?
Not sad dog.
Oh, I was like,
Stroman.
Stroman did. Yeah, I was like, hold on.
Stroman played. He's a tennis player. I heard he's a damn good tennis player, though.
He is a good tennis player.
Pretty good tennis player. You know what I mean? No disrespect. But it's like it's context, man. Yeah, 100%. But it's context and it's emotion. Let these guys have emotion. What you want to do? Again, Whitey Ford wouldn't have done it. I know. I get it. Whitey had respect for the game. He would have walked over there and gave Steinbrenner a hug and kiss on the cheek after it. I get it. This ain't that time. These guys got drip. He's got a Tiffany's colored glove. What? Have some fun, man.
Yeah, but why is that not respecting the game? Why is showing emotion not respecting the game?
To him, I don't know, because again, he compares everything to the 50s to I want to say Don Mattingly era Yankees.
That's tops. Whitey retired in 67, by the way. That was his last season.
Hey, and he compares everything to Whitey. So it's just that time frame. And again, it's a different era, man.
But why can't we respect the game? Yeah, why can't we respect the game just by the way that my personality is or by the way that your personality is? Like if you're funny, and you crack a joke, that's respecting the game.
100%.
That's like our next guest, Rowdy
Sad
Tellez,
dog.
coming in hot. No, not sad dog. Rowdy coming in hot right now on FT Live. Rowdy, your thoughts if you got to catch any of that last couple minutes of content there on Stroman showing emotion and a dude who's on the league channel every day saying everybody has to be a little toy soldier and do nothing and be like the players in the 60s.
Yeah, I don't know who Mad Dog is, but that's kind of tired. I mean, that guy played really hard in Little League and sucked, so that's why he's super upset about it. But I couldn't tell you. I don't care. I really don't. If I homer off you and I bat flip that shit in the 4th row, and then you punch me out and throw the glove at me and do all that, like, I deserved it. That's just part of the game now. It's just the way the game is. Yeah, it's evolved over time, but, like, who cares? I don't care. I really don't. I mean, now, I think there's a time and place for it. I think when you're losing 10-1 and you homer off Kershaw after he's, punched you out 3 times, I think that's a little different. I think there's a respect factor in that aspect of, like, hey, man, like, you didn't do anything and you're still losing, like, relax. But I think, like, if the situation calls for it, why not? It's the way the game is now, and I think that's part of it. So I don't care.
Can you remember, Rowdy, the last time that there was a situation where in the dugout you guys were like, yo, that was too much or that was disrespecting us? Have you had any scenarios like that, whether it was this year or in the past few years, where you actually felt offended versus just being like, yo, let's go kick his ass?
No, I think there's a couple times being a first baseman that it happened, and then the guy gets on base again. You're like, hey, man, you're losing there. Like, it's usually young kids, man. It's emotional. I wouldn't say like I'm a veteran. I wouldn't say I'm old, but I debuted with guys that debuted in the early 2000s. So I think you get kind of like an aspect and understanding from those guys. So I think it's just I get both sides. I really do, because I think some guys are just very low key. Like, you look at Paul Goldschmidt, doesn't pimp homers, doesn't do anything, puts his head down, runs the bases, kind of like that. And then you have guys like Acuna, younger players, newer generation. So I think it's just who you are, but I don't think you can really pin emotion on being a downfall unless it does get disrespectful. Like, yelling at the dugout after a strikeout, if you're a pitcher, is a little different than hyping your own dugout up. I think that's really it.
Rowdy, why are you outside at Rogers Center? Did they kick you out of the clubhouse for making up lies about people, or what?
No. My lies do sound very accurate, though, don't they?
Yeah, because we're about to get into it, you and I, because you made up a lie about me the first time we met. Yep.
About signing autographs when I was a kid?
Yeah, that's not true. But then you also... yeah, okay. Yeah, we had Pat Murphy on, and you also told a lie about him. So now Pat and I, we're tight now because you lied about both of us.
But have you ever met Pat?
Many times.
Dude, that's another spot-on lie, though. That's like...
See, and then see, like, I could possibly tell you to fuck off. Well, not maybe as a kid, but I will now. But I could see Pat Murphy saying, hey, Clubby, get my socks, or wwhatever he did to you. So,
yeah,
fair.
threw his stupid yellow Jordans at me, told him to clean them. I was like, dude, I'm your new first baseman. Fuck off, old man. But no, it was good. It was good. But no, there's a bad reception in there, and everybody's on the Wi-Fi. You know how it is over there, AJ. It's a small clubhouse, old clubhouse, so it's a little tight knit and tight out there. And so I decided to come out here and do it.
Do they still have the dude in there? Hey, do they still have the guy in there that would sell you like all the movies? Because you used to go to Toronto, he'd sell you a hard drive with like every movie ever made for like
in the clubhouse.
In the clubhouse.
Scott.
Remember that? Yes. Kratzy. Remember that? The guy that
I was in the East, baby. I had him.
You'd go in and he'd be like, how many movies do you want? Because we only went there once a year. And he'd give you a hard drive, and it literally would have every movie ever made on it. And
that's illegal,
everything
by the
you
way.
want.
Well, I mean,
Jones,
that's why he did it in Toronto, and he said, Scott.
Yeah, Scott.
Blinn.
Scott Blinn.
I
wrote many checks.
He's the head home guy now.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
there you go.
Ask him. Hey, I'm sure piracy out this ass.
We just got him under investigation.
It's okay. He don't care. He was like, hey, I was like, something didn't work. He's like, don't worry, I got a new update.
He was my clubhouse guy when I was over there.
Awesome. Stop
Okay.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Netflix now. You don't need that. It's just called Netflix. And we got
True.
subscriptions.
True. This is
I
before
don't think-
subscriptions, man. People piracy, baby.
Rowdy, is the real reason you're outside? Is it because you're giving more hugs than you to the Toronto players than you are your own players? Like that's why you're outside, so everybody sees you.
I said hi to the staff. No, there's nobody out here, meat.
Yeah, right. You're out here. You're like, hey, got to do a show for 15 minutes. Yo, meet me out here. Like, you're gonna give super hugs. That's the only reason you're outside. Like, oh, hey, I'm back in Toronto, everybody.
Well, they did have an escort for just me. I got off the plane and they had a limo and everything just for me. That's about right.
I'm gonna keep it in love. You officiated a friend's wedding this offseason?
Yeah, he said that you were mean to him.
Ooh,
Jansen?
I was not mean to Jansen.
That was
Well, he's
two
9
offseasons.
years.
That was
Oh yeah,
two offseasons ago.
he's 9 years old. He was 9 years old, and like I'm 18. I just came off a game. I'm like, I don't want to see this little 9-year-old in my damn room at 11 o'clock at night. Get the hell out of here. I ain't had a
Wait,
little
but
brother.
give us
I was
the
I was a little
background.
brother.
No, here's the thing
Yeah.
Jonesy doesn't get. Rowdy's totally trolling him right now, and Jonesy just hook, line, and sinker. Oh!
Yeah.
Took the bait and running right now. Because that was a
what you talking
typical
about?
Rowdy
Sweetest
Tellez
guy.
lie about how
Yeah,
Jansen said he was mean.
that
Bull
comes true.
crap.
I was
The way-
sweet
the way-
to him, but I was like, "Hey, you gotta go, Jan. You gotta go. It's time to go to bed." He's, Adam, good game. It's 11:30. You gotta get up for school tomorrow, kid.
The way Danny describes it was, he was like, I was just a 9-year-old. I was a big fan. And he used to go, Adam would come home and I just wanted to bat or anything. And Adam would tell me to shut up. I'm trying to go to sleep.
Wait, how did you guys know each other? Was it a host family?
Yeah, Jonesy lives
Yeah,
with
he was
Danny
my host
Jansen's
family.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying for the fans watching,
Oh.
we needed a little more context there in your little
Oh yeah,
inner
so
circle.
yeah, his family hosted a lot of guys from the Mariners organization in Appleton, Wisconsin, throughout the years, and I was lucky enough to get his family, and I was maintained friendships and all that relationships with their family throughout the years. I ended up when Jansen got called up in 18, he ended up staying a night with me because I brought his family out and repaid the whole tribute to his family doing that. And he came to my house and stuff like that and had his dad. But this time we're grown ups and we can have a drink, we can have a beer together. So it's just full circle, post family, and just somebody that made it and was able to return her favor.
Rowdy, I know whose wedding you're not going to officiate. It's Corbin Burns. Because when he
He's
walked by
married.
you,
Yeah, he's married.
I know, but I'm saying you didn't officiate his wedding because when you was it in spring training?
He
You
was
flipped in
married
the ball?
before I got over here.
Okay, well, who cares? Semantics, okay? But he
Well, I mean-
trolled your ass. He trolled your ass. He's my new favorite player, hence why I have his card sitting here next to me because
you like
know
him
what?
so much you lost it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
oh bullshit right here.
He does.
Corbin Burns. Because he took the ball, you flipped it to him, and you went to throw it around, and he went, "Hey, Rowdy, pick it up, fat ass." And you had to bend over and pick it up. So did you get on him? Did you make up some story about him?
No, I mean, I always talk shit to him in the clubhouse, so we have a nice little back and forth. He's just mad. He's jealous.
Of?
My body's way better than his, and he knows it. So it's fun.
Yeah, he doesn't have 30 homers in him either.
That's true.
He could be jealous.
He could be very jealous.
Yeah.
He's got better hair though, for sure.
I wouldn't go that far. Some people really like my hairstyle.
Kratz. Well, besides Kratz, who else?
That's all that matters. That's the only opinion I care about. Jonesy, I care about yours too, but I know you wouldn't say anything bad about me.
Nope. As long as you're happy,
Dude,
man.
Hold on. I got it. Now that AJ's just getting on me. We were in San Francisco last year, right before the All-Star break, and he came in to the clubhouse to say hi to Colton Wong and Jace Peterson, and he was running his shit about being like 45 and like, oh, I could still play. And he was like, y'all need a first baseman, and I was sitting in my locker behind him, and I was like,
He told this story.
You didn't have a career in 1 year. I got that at the break, so just relax. I said we're perfectly fine over at first.
Oh shit.
He told that story already.
He did.
I did say that. I did say that. I said, shit.
You knew where Rowdy was?
I didn't know
That's
who
a
Rowdy
real-
was. That's a real
fine.
story. I didn't know who Rowdy was.
The only reason
I knew who he was. I heard the name.
And it's no big deal. It's not like Rowdy forgot or anything.
No,
Sorry,
it's not
Rowdy,
like he's
wait.
letting it go or anything. I
Yeah.
mean,
What'd you say, Rowdy? We missed you.
Yeah, the only reason I knew who AJ was because he was like one of the little trade guys that came over, and it was big league and everybody. So I asked for the autograph, and now look.
That's right. I told you
Now
to
he's
fuck
hosting-
off. See, now I'm
now
still
he's
telling you to
going-
fuck off.
Hey, Rowdy, I know you were mic'd up recently, and I know you've been mic'd up in games here and there. Do you feel like you're kind of getting worked when you get mic'd up because they have to dub a lot of it and it gets all edited, so it's not showing your true self besides on a show like this?
Yeah, I think sometimes it blows my mind that I get mic'd up so much. Like, I get mic'd up on the bench. I get mic'd up. I'm like the most below average player that gets mic'd up the most. It's unbelievable.
But they
I
pay
think
you, right?
No, fuck no.
What?
No.
How?
don't
I have a
get paid for
question.
It's
that.
supposed to be a couple $100, 500, 1,000, something
No,
like
it's
that.
supposed to be
10 grand if
Okay,
you're on
wait.
the national. 10 grand.
I actually have a bone to pick. Okay, so
10K, Jonesy.
being in
if you-
TV for a while. Ready for this, Rowdy? This is a real thing. This was reported. It's facts. If you do those in-game interviews where you're on the field, and it could be 3 outs, it could be, I think Glaber Torres or someone did it recently, and it was like 30 seconds. They give you 10 G's. But if you get mic'd up for a game, I haven't seen anything or heard anything about being paid for that, which is much more work and content that you're contributing. So can we fix this?
I heard you
It's easy.
maybe for if you have like the two-way mic, like if they can talk to you.
Yes.
Maybe I've never had that one. I'm not that good.
Well, they should pay you for the mic'd up stuff though, because still 10 G's for that for 5 seconds?
Okay, so if I ever do a Brewers game,
Yeah.
I'm going to
We
request.
won't let you.
That's fine. I'm going to request Rowdy. I want Rowdy.
You don't get
Like
no
two
request.
Two-way. I'll get requests, and you might say no, but I'll be like, fine, I'll keep the 10 grand myself then. If you don't want 10 grand, then I'll keep it.
All right, what's your request? If you want a two-way mic to talk to me,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You can't be me. I'm just going to sit in your ear and go, remember that time you tried to get my autograph?
dude, we're gonna be sitting there. We're gonna get canceled for being on microphones in the middle of it.
They're going to remove him during the game.
They're going to take him out.
Rowdy,
Yeah,
you're out.
they're not even gonna be a pitching change. It's gonna be a mic change, and I'm getting taken out of the game.
Hey, did you hear about Pete Alonso's viral interview from Friday with us?
We got to talk about that guy dry pumping the railings at games, man. What is this guy
Okay.
doing?
So let's go over that too, because we did see some of the comments did say,
That's a
what is
bad
that
look for us.
celebration?
That's a bad look for us big first baseman, man. He can't be doing all that.
He-
It's just not good. But no, I have
you
not
seen
heard
that?
about it.
Oh, I've seen it. I was going to bring it up to Rob Friedman, but he gets all excited when we were talking about it, so I didn't want to.
We'll bring it up. This is the perfect guy. He's a first baseman, power hitter.
Yeah, so for one, you don't dry hump the rails after you hit home runs. You put on cheese on your head. And two, have you ever hit a home run when you have to poop?
I don't know. That's a fucking good question. I've definitely taken a farted. There's probably now that I think about it. It has smelled like shit back there before when Kratz was trying to talk to me mid pitch. He's got shit coming out of his mouth. But other than that, I don't know.
So did you hear the story? Did you hear Alonso said he had to poop, so he swung first pitch off Hunter Green and went deep, and then ran around the bases and ran right to the bathroom.
That's a lie.
What?
There's no way. I don't know. He hits homers though, so it doesn't surprise me. Maybe it was true.
You know, like one of the favorite lines from trolls, because they'll put this every week. We'll have some video, especially on TikTok, that gets a lot of love, right? And that the Pete Alonso one went all over the place, pun intended. And the commenters, some of them will go, "I'll take stories that didn't happen for 500, Alex," and I'll usually reply like, "Nah, it did." But why wouldn't that one be possible? Dude had to go, and my favorite part of it, Rowdy, was that. You definitely have people, and I mentioned this earlier in the show, that were like, wow, great job by Pete, sitting first pitch slider, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, nah, he just had to take a shit.
Yeah, see, now sitting first pitch slider, I didn't even see it, so I don't know how accurate that one is. But, I mean, kudos to him. Good shit.
Oh, Kratzy, you had something for him? I thought you were going to bring some heat here.
I did, but you guys hit it all, and that was like 10 minutes ago. So stories don't flow anymore afterwards. You never really got into what it is that Toronto's gonna like the whole like. Are they gonna do? Did you guys like request like a standing ovation time so you don't get a strike called on you like when you come up to the plate? How's that gonna go down?
I think they want me to give them a standing ovation for getting traded. So I think they requested time for me to give them one. I don't know, dude. They didn't do anything. We're just gonna be honest. They're not gonna do anything. Maybe
No video tribute on the giant jumbotron.
I don't know, dude. They might bill me for not paying rent during COVID season.
Is that
Yeah.
I
true?
want to ask you
Yeah.
about the most embarrassing moment in your life. Clinton Berry gave me a little bit of ammo, so he said it should lead into this story. So let's lead into the story of something in elementary school.
I don't know. What did he got? Dude, I got a lot of
Getting
embarrassing. Dude, I'm fat and bald.
getting cut out of a chair.
Oh, bro, I got stuck in a chair, man. I was a little bigger as a kid. We had them little desks. I got stuck. I wedged myself in there and I cut out.
So how'd they get you out?
They kind of tipped it over in gravity. You know? We were learning about Isaac Newton. I had to be, gravity. And then you can pull it out. Weight, mass, force. It was not good.
That's mean.
But
Who gave you that story?
My
I did a
boy, his
bunch.
first base coach.
Yeah, I got a good one about my first base coach, and I say it all the time because it's so bad. We were teammates in 2016 in AAA. I got traded over here, and this motherfucker introduced himself to me again. I said, "Bro, we were teammates."
He's got a long neck too. Talk about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, you sorry ass. You got 299 stolen bases or 399 in the minor leagues. Couldn't get that one extra. Spent all that goddamn time there.
Wear him out. Let him have
Oh,
it, man.
all the time. All the
Let
time.
him
He
have
always
it.
talking shit. He thinks he got a good haircut and all. I'm like, bro, you look like Ray Charles cut that shit up here. And he goes, you got no hair. Bro, that's the reason I can talk to you. I said, because I got no hair. Like, like you got hair and you want it to look like shit. I'm like, bro, call Steve last off. Cut that shit. That's bad.
Oh, that's funny.
Rowdy,
Wear
what's
him
your
out, man.
what's the Jordan contract looking like?
Yeah, I only had it for a couple hours. They dropped me.
They dropped.
Yeah. They can't have somebody with that kind of body style. You can't be looking like an ice cream cone wearing our shoes. And I said, man, that sucks. So they're dirty. Yeah, that was Miguel Jordan anyway. He's from down in Mexico. They hooked me up. Yeah, I want to be a Jordan guy really bad, but I mean, who doesn't? I could be a
AJ's got
swingman.
a hookup.
You got any shit left over?
Jonesy, I think was no Jonesy. Were you a Jumpman guy? No, you weren't
Hey,
Jumpman.
no, I was swingman.
Swingman.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Griffey stuff.
Griff. Yep. And you always
Yeah,
wear Kim's batting gloves, so I see you got some swag, man.
yeah. See, that's the thing. I'm gonna start putting. Everybody's been figuring it out now. I'm gonna start putting E on the end, so it says MKE. Because
Yeah.
I'll be telling
How
Matt.
many he give you?
Matt,
Damn.
yeah, Matt's always like, man, dude, everybody's talking about the gloves. I'm like, nobody knows who you are, bro. I was like, you're irrelevant in the game now. I was like, you're a good guy. You're a good guy. You treat me well, but I mean, dude, I'm gonna start putting E on the end for Milwaukee, and everybody's gonna be like, damn, dude, you got Milwaukee. You got custom Nikes. I'm like, yeah, from 2014, bro. They're sick. Don't worry about it. I got it like that.
What are they? Brewers colors?
Yeah, when he was on the Padres.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot of people forgot about that, even him. So like he'll go to his house and he has a cage and stuff, and that's where I hit is at the house, and then he just has like all this random shit in there, like cleats, batting gloves, all this stuff, and I just start taking it. I just start there he is.
Oh, there
We were
he
just
is.
talking about you, Brian.
Hey, he was
We were
talking
talking about
shit
how big
about
of a
you.
bitch
He was
you were.
talking mad shit about you. That's my boy.
A lot of people don't like you. But
All right, you got.
so I go to Kemp's house and I just start taking all the stuff. How it is.
All right, Rowdy, we want you to stay safe out there. So now that there are other human beings on the field, go do your thing, dude. We'll get you again in a couple weeks. Good luck. Go make a run for the boys right now.
Yeah, we got to, the prime coming out to see me, so I got to go.
Yeah, please. Get out of here, dude.
Justin Bieber and Drake are going to come say hello, too, so, big shot.
Yeah.
Tell Biebs we said what's good.
Yeah, tell him hello. Tell Drake I'll see him in Chicago.
Yeah, I won't. I don't know what you said, AJ, but I probably won't see you if you're ever in Chicago. I'm in a big league like me. It's cool.
Okay, great, perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. I won't talk to you. Don't worry about it. I won't give you the chance.
Can't wait. Cameras will be all over.
I'll send over a ball. I'll send over a signed ball for you.
I'll put it next to my Corbin Burns card,
which you treat really well.
All right,
PSA 0.5 at this point.
Whatever. All right, go give the Blue Jays hugs. Enjoy your video
all right,
tribute.
I will. Yeah, I've only been 7 like you, so it means I'm a good teammate.
Later, bro.
That dude's an ultimate mess. By the way, how the hell did you put up with him for a whole year, Crouchy?
That's what everybody thinks we played together.
Oh, you never played together? Really?
Not once.
Wow, he can make up some stories, but he got Jonesy, boy, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
We all fall for it. I fell for it the first time. Pat Murphy fell for it. He does that. He makes these lies up that you're like, wait, that could be true, but it's not true. I got to go back, and then you're like, no, that's not true, and he's just laughing because he knows he got you.
So we're gonna have Evan Mendoza, minor leaguer, super creator, influencer, joining us in 2 minutes. So 2 things I wanted to shout out that we didn't get to from the top because we were blitzed by great guests. One is also returns from Mike Soroka and Royce Lewis. So congrats to both of them. Both of them could be very big contributors to their ball clubs too. Braves could use some starting pitching.
Look very good.
No, I know.
It's first time out.
Hopefully,
Royce Lewis had a nice game.
Royce Lewis had a great game. And with Miranda sent down, they actually need a third baseman. This could be a really good fit. I mean, 2 ACL surgeries, he's back. Soroka had the 2 Achilles brutal injuries, some side issues, multiple surgeries. So the one other thing I wanted to
hold on before you go. The other thing is before you get off this, like, it doesn't matter how they do first time. Like Liam Hendriks gave up runs. People are like, oh, he sucks. He gave up runs. Like, dude, it's not about that. Like Royce Lewis, he could have went 0 for 5. Even Soroka, he didn't pitch great, but it's about coming back. Dude, you missed multiple years, or Hendriks had cancer. Like, let's just celebrate the fact these dudes are back, right? Like, who cares how they do? Like, I mean, Liam Hendriks gave up runs. Like, so what? Dude, the dude was going to die of cancer.
Yeah.
Now he's back pitching in like 5 months. How about we celebrate how great medicine is and he's back pitching?
In under 5 months. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, let's all the Twitter people out there, like, let's just celebrate the dudes are back and they're doing what they love. Like, let's not, you want to get into it 2 months from now and they're back all the way. Like, okay.
Sure. And I will say, most people, especially from what I saw with Hendriks, were like, let's go.
Of course. But there was always people.
There's always trolls. I'll take things that didn't happen for 500, Alex. Ooh, good one, man. That was a really good one. Where'd you get that? From Russo in the 60s? All right, exactly. So one other thing I wanted to grab is Marlins and Angels played this weekend. Marlins swept them, which is a separate topic, but I don't know if it says more about the Marlins or the Angels. But did you see the ump mic'd up?
I did not
by
see
accident?
This. I want to see this.
Oh, you got to listen to this. Let's run what happened when the Marlins made a little challenge replay review ask, and the ump did not realize the mic was still hot.
Yeah.
Now, home plate umpire C.B. Buckner had a really good
Miami's
look at
challenging the out call at home plate.
But the Marlins are going to challenge that.
They got their heads up their ass.
Obviously a crucial play in this ball game if it gets overturned, and they'll need the evidence to overturn that call.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Jeff Nelson and CB. What's funny is the dude was like, I saw the play. I didn't see he was not on the plate.
Well, no, they reversed it.
No,
so you said they have their head up their ass, and he was wrong, and he was mic'd up. Does he get in trouble for that? Do you get a little fine?
He won't.
From the league?
He should, but he won't.
He's mic'd up. Does he get in trouble for that? Do you get a little fine?
He won't.
From the league?
He should, but he won't.
Why should he? That's hilarious. He gave us
said they
amazing
had their
content.
head up their ass.
So what? That's real life. That's real talk.
I understand that, but not Major League Baseball talk.
Okay, but Major League Baseball needs to be less like Mickey Mouse and Sesame Street and more like real life.
No comment.
If
I don't want to get fined.
If you were a player, wouldn't you have thought you're not getting fined? Wouldn't you have thought that's hilarious?
Not if I was on the Marlins and they just called my manager telling me my manager's got his head up his ass. I'd have been pissed.
I would have been cracking up because he's wrong. You guys won.
I agree. But then I would have told him he had his head up his ass. Then I would have got ejected and I would have got fined. See how this works?
There was like a famous commercial once where it was a ref or the NFL ref or something didn't realize that he was still on and he was saying something. You remember it? I don't know.
I do.
This was real life.
The mic's on.
Mic's on. I thought it was incredible.
Jeff Nelson. Yeah. He used to live in Orlando. He used to live right across the lake.
I'm sure he'll be on foul territory when he retires in a few years.
When he gets
giving
fired
his
after
best Jerry
saying
West.
Schumacher had his head up his ass.
How good was that? Kratzy, did you not love that shit?
I thought that was hilarious. I think they need to – obviously, I don't think they need to keep the mic on the field longer. I think we need to hear what the discussion is between the field and New York. Why can't we get a peek in there?
Well, I'll tell you why, because I've asked umpires before what they say. Because remember they used to put the Jonesy headphones on, and they were like helicopter grade, so you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And they'd come back, and I'd be like, "Hey Jeff, what did they tell you?" He goes, "Honestly, we don't say anything to them, and they don't say anything to us. We just wait until they come back with something. There's no because if you notice, the umpires they have the little microphone. They're like, they don't say anything. They just sit there, and then they come back and they say, "Okay, safe or out, confirm, safe, whatever." Reversed, whatever it is. And he's like, okay. And they say, thanks. And then they hand it to the little person that's handing it to him. There's no back and forth.
There shouldn't be. They're doing the right thing because they don't have any decision at that point.
Not one.
It's not a conversation. It's, hey, what did you see? Okay, I'll go report it. Oh, so his head wasn't up his ass? Got it.
Yeah, it's not like the NFL where they're talking back and forth. It's literally headset on. They tell them the answer, and they go, okay, there you go.
I thought it was brilliant. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Skip Schumacher's got a nice ass, so that's where your head should be.
That could have been where he was going. I doubt it, but it could have been where he was going. But, hey, props to the Marlins. They're playing pretty good ball, and that was, I will say, not a devastating. That's a bad sweep for the Angels because I just think the AL is tough. Where you're not winning the division. The wild cards are going to be tough for anyone to grab from the East teams. So, and the Rangers and Astros are good.
It's also we're talking about Soroka and your bad losses for the Angels, but like the Braves lost to the A's, and if you look at it, like you lose a game to the A's, because everyone now has the same schedule, right? So everyone plays the A's 3 times if you're not in their division. You lose a game to the A's, you don't want to look back and be the Braves and be like, damn, we wouldn't have lost a game to the A's. They're 11-45. Which seems impossible. I mean, I know they won 11 games, but you don't want to be the team that loses. Let's say some team goes in there let's say the Mariners go there one time and they lose 2 out of 3 and they miss the playoffs by a game. They're going to be like, fudge. We lost to the A's 2 out of 3. That sucks, man.
It's a pressure game.
They're almost harder than playing the best team. Like you're playing the Rays or the A's. You have to beat the A's.
But MLB put them in a bad spot. MLB freaking had them have the night game, and then they got to fly out to Oakland and play a 6:00 game in Oakland. They were primed to lose that game.
100%.
They're just glad they got through 9.
Nobody wants to hear you complain about having to fly on a private plane, Kratz, after a late night game. You get paid too much, okay? Yeah, right. Real people. Again, real people play this game.
That's That's a travesty by them getting scheduled for that game.
Yeah. How about the Cardinals? You know what the Cardinals did? So the Cardinals are in a stretch of 19 games in 19 days.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to have Memorial Day off, yesterday off against the Royals. They were supposed to play Tuesday, Wednesday, and have Thursday off. The organization went to Major League Baseball and said, we'll get a bigger crowd on Memorial Day. Move the game to Monday. So they play Monday, Tuesday, have Wednesday, Thursday off.
Oh, come on. And they almost got perfectoed last night, too.
Yep. True story.
So players are probably pissed, no?
I don't know about the players, but I mean, it's a weird thing. They're like, we're going to get more, which they probably did get more people.
Yeah, I mean, most teams should play if at all possible.
You should have all 30
They should all be playing.
But you should also make it reasonable. You shouldn't have to go from Philly or Atlanta all the way to Oakland and play a game. That's insanity.
It feels like all of these things could be possible. I know the schedule makers are way smarter than we are, but come on, let's get it together. Let's bring in our next guest, Evan Mendoza, minor leaguer in the Padres system, joining us right now. Also, superstar content creator in this game. You can follow him on IG at E_Mendoza18 or on TikTok, Evan_Mendoza. And it's Jonesy's boy, too. So, Evan, how you doing? And then I'll let Jonesy jump right in because he's been excited to bring you on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Scott. What's up, Jonesy? How we doing, guys? Just really excited to be here and talk with you guys. This is awesome.
Evan, it's your story. Just give it to us. Break it down. I mean, your content speaks for itself, but I wanted to learn your story.
Yeah, my quick little breakdown is I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. Grew up an Orioles fan. I obviously idolized, you, AJ. Definitely was able to follow your career, understood kind of like how important you were to the community. And I've kind of taken that all the way through my career. My family moved in, middle school. We moved around a lot. Finally kind of settled down in Sarasota, Florida. So right in the backyard of Ed Smith, went to a lot of spring training games and watched, the O's play. And then went to NC State, played there for 3 years. My freshman year, I was actually a pitcher. And then I transitioned over to be a third baseman and got drafted by the Cardinals in 2017. And then got minor league Rule 5 back in December of 2022. So this was my first year with the Padres org, and I haven't been, any happier with, playing ball and a new org.
Sarasota High School Sailors. Yeah, we played them in high school. Yeah. I hated them.
So we were good every year. Clyde Metcalf out there. He was he's a legend in the state of Florida. He knows what he's doing over there.
Oh yeah, I played against when Matt Drews, Doug Million, those teams. Those were the if you don't know. Scott's like, how old are you? Yeah, Bobby Say, all those way back in the day.
Evan's way younger than me. Evan's 26.
He knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Scott's giving me this. Evan, Scott's giving me a look like, damn, who the hell are these guys?
What is this? The Sarasota, Florida?
Well, no, these are first round picks.
I know. I'm kidding.
Evan, how do you have time? Because I know what it was like in the minors. How do you have time to do all this content? How do you have time to put all this content out there? And obviously the Padres are okay with it. Has anyone ever come up to you and said, hey, let's maybe slow this down a little bit?
The most was honestly about 2 weeks ago. I'm actually rehabbing right now in Arizona, and they basically just said, hey, let's try not doing anything within the walls. I like giving, kids, especially, 10 to 18-year-old kids are usually like my audience. I love giving them the inside look of, little things. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I try to understand what that line is and make sure to not cross it. But to answer your question, how I find time, in the minor leagues, I've had plenty of long bus rides. I try to pride myself on making sure I'm staying efficient with my time, whether it's a rain delay or anything like that, just making sure that I'm having time to, of course, focus on my hobbies off the field. I think a lot of people don't really know is this is something I've been doing my whole life. I've been carrying around a camera, taking videos, being creative. And, it's just a hobby that I do off the field. And it's something that I bring. It brings happiness to, times where it's kind of low. Like right now I'm rehabbing. I have most of the afternoon to myself to be able to, work on this type of stuff. And I don't really view it as work. I view it as a hobby.
Exactly.
Do you feel like the team should say something to you? Like, don't you feel like that's maybe where baseball's behind other sports?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I think Major League Baseball has a ton of resources available. I think it's the understanding at a younger level of how to use it. I was actually introduced to Greenfly. It's basically an app that you can download on your phone. You can get real-time pictures, videos from the game before. I got that in the World Baseball Classic, and I thought, wow, this is crazy. This is awesome. You get that content right after the game. Once you get to your phone after the game in your locker, you have all this content, a huge folder of it. And I think what's the problem in baseball as far as just understanding how to use the content is you're given these resources at the highest level. If we were given these resources at the lower level, maybe, high school showcases, maybe college, and you start getting understanding on how to use that content, these players, I think, will be more acceptable to, decide to post on social media and, start building their own personal brand and everything that comes with that.
I'm going to talk about content. I love watching your stories. You got to hang around one of the best third basemen in the game, Manny Machado. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about some content with being around him? I was around him for a long time. He's obviously in a different stratosphere he is than now, but you getting to be around him. I mean, you're talking about one of the best in the game to do it, and just the experience, especially being a Latin player.
Mhm.
You guys can talk in both languages and talk in a different way than just normal.
Yeah, I mean, Manny's a guy that I, of course, looked up to, followed his career as well with the Orioles. I remember specifically he was going through a rehab assignment, and I watched him play at Ed Smith. Had an opportunity when I was like 13 years old to ask him. I heard you guys talking about Jordan earlier with Rowdy, but he's a Jordan guy, and I've been fascinated by equipment and things like that. So I think one of the coolest things, just meeting him and seeing him go about his business every day in spring training. Sorry about that.
Pay a bill, man.
It's like those motion lights. Sorry about that.
They really don't want you to do anything besides rehab, huh?
Exactly. No. Today's like a late day anyway, so we're chill. But no, just seeing his like equipment up close and personal, that was something that was really cool. But of course, just like how he went about it in spring training, very, very calm, very focused on everything that he was doing. Especially like his at bats, you could just tell he took control of the game and slowed it down. So I loved watching him play. I still love watching him play, and hopefully his hand's getting better. I know he got hit maybe like a week.
He should be back soon.
Yeah.
You know him. He's a super healer. He does not like to miss time. And last year, remember, he had the injury, and most dudes would have been out for a while. I don't even know if he went on the IL for it last year, right?
No.
Remember what I'm talking about?
Missed 7 for his ankle.
His ankle.
His ankle.
Yeah, it was like a week, and then he came back, and
it was like this big, and he was.
That's why the DH is great.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to jump on what you were talking about earlier. Yeah, it's your hobby. Just like many ball players nowadays will play hours of video games, and you're essentially going on technology and using it to cut content. And I know you can do it really quickly as well, and you'll even show people some of the new things that you learn. So I wanted to know how this can be utilized in life, right? So there's life after baseball. What do you want to do? Because, we met through another business that you were involved in as well. Absolutely. So give people the lowdown of how you're always thinking about what's next and having ancillary opportunities.
Yeah, I think, of course, life after baseball is something that you, of course, have to think about as an athlete, whatever sport you're playing with. There's going to be that career after baseball. And I think that's something that when you're young, you kind of just put all your eggs in one basket. There's no doubt about it. My number one priority right now is to make it to the big leagues, play as long as I possibly can, and enjoy my time, being young while I can do it. But I think getting hurt was that time for me. It was 2019. I was in AAA. I was 6 games into AAA, and I broke my wrist. 3 months later, the doctor cleared me. I broke my wrist again, and that's when I really told myself, I was like, man, I just sat around for the first 3 months of rehab, really not doing much. I got cleared, and then once I broke it again, I was like, okay, we need to do something. I'm an athlete. This is my career. It could go away like that. There's no way about it other than it can happen quick. You can get hurt. Anything can really happen. So I started thinking outside of the box. I started giving lessons to start doing camps. I think that's a pretty common path that a lot of players do. But then I started realizing if I wanted to promote camps, promote lessons, I have to have somewhat of a social media following. And I think it was back in 2020 is when I really started during COVID, had a lot of time on my hands, and decided I always say, you either won COVID or the pandemic, quarantine, whatever you want to call it. You either won it or you lost it. And that's when I really doubled down on doing social media, creating a following, and it's been a blessing. It really has.
I don't know a time. I'm gonna go back to baseball question here. What is Colombian Winter League like? Because I know you played for WBC. I mean, Venezuela. I played in the Dominican. I know a lot of guys play in Mexico and Puerto Rico. What's a Colombian Winter League like?
It's a little bit less known, and I think that's completely okay. I think the way it's growing is awesome to see. We were able to be in the World Baseball Classic this past year. Unfortunately, didn't get the results that we were looking for. But honestly, it's way deeper than just baseball. I was able to this past winter play just basically for the playoffs. I think that was an awesome way to be able to go about it. But the most important thing was I was able to bring my dad back to Colombia. That's where he was born. That's where he still has a lot of family. And just being able to see him in his, hometown, I think that was just such an awesome thing that baseball has been able to bring not only me, but, my family, my dad, That was very special. To answer your question, it's been a little bit different because COVID year is the first year that I played over there in Colombia. We played in one stadium. It was Edgar Renteria's stadium in Barranquilla, Colombia. It's a coastal town, so you got the beach, you got amazing food. Everything's super cheap over there, so you can get basically Uber Eats and get like 3 courses for like $20. It's awesome. So I've been utilizing that whenever I go over there, eating well, eating really good food. But the travel is not the best. Some of the hotels that you stay in when you're on the road, not the best, but they take care of you. They're trying to grow the game over there. It's becoming well known, and I'm hoping that Colombia can get into the Caribbean Series. I think it's going to be in Miami this next year in February. I think initially they weren't about it, and I'm hoping that they, make their way to be included into that as well.
They've got a great fan base too. I mean, when I called WBC games in 2017, the Colombian crowd was awesome. I mean, they brought a big crowd. They were very vocal. Obviously, they were sneaky good back then too, like kind of making a name for themselves as a country in that tournament. So I wanted to ask you about, you touched on for a moment, the camps. So tell me about, I know you've got one that you're running, right, in June in Phoenix for a couple days.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome to be able to work it out. There's actually an indoor facility basically on the same plot of land as our spring training facility here in Peoria. And I'm living just down the road, so it just all made sense. And it's just something that I feel that it's my responsibility to connect with the community. Honestly, I learned that from you, AJ.
I appreciate that.
I remember seeing the Ravens tailgate that you used to do. That was the thing that I was like, man, he's including, football. He's including the whole city of Baltimore, and he's doing something good with his platform. So like seeing stuff like that, of course, I like, doing things that are educational for the kids to be able to understand, what pro baseball is like, what are some drills that could possibly, get them to where I'm at or where you guys have been. That I think is a really awesome feeling that I want to be able to give out as much as possible. And then honestly, when I was doing rehab, I started really loving the understanding of coaching. I've always heard the phrase, like, if you want to better understand something, teach it. So I think that's honestly helped me and given me that sense of confidence of what I'm doing and how I play the game.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. That's my message to Baltimore was always, it's Baltimore helping Baltimore. It's easy. I got a lot of friends with money. Hey, can you give me X amount of dollars for this and this and this? AJ, you know that. Kratzy, like, we don't want that. We want the city to represent the city. And, I appreciate you saying that because that was always my message, man. And to me, it was bigger than sports. It was more education because my wife's a lawyer. Her family's all lawyers, all in Baltimore. Big education, private schools. Was it Roland Park and Gilman alums? So education was always important to my better halves. And we have kids, obviously education. Me, I'm a city slicker. So it's like, hey, where can I get the next buck? So, it turned into, obviously, athletics is the reason why I made money. The chances of being a professional baseball player or a professional athlete are very slim, but to be able to be involved with the game in some capacity and get the education side, that is invaluable. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, I got a question for you though. Like, what's the most proudful moment that you've had off of the field during your playing career, or even after the playing career?
It's a good one. I mean, I think when it's part of the charitable stuff is seeing kids graduate, seeing them go through it. We've started funds in Baltimore, and we've had kids go to school, and they've actually completed it. Opposed to you go to school for a year, somebody's paying for it, somebody's helping you out. It's like, I don't care, I ain't got to really follow through with this. If I miss class, whatever. But when they actually follow through with it, actually graduate, like, because that's out of my hands. That means that somebody actually took someone else's money and used it in the best way they possibly could to better their future. That's an investment. I invested in some kids' future, and they produce. So off the field, that is, when it comes to the charitable part, that right there is, there's nothing that can come with that.
Yeah.
Evan, I got one fan question for you. Nathan in here said earlier, he's like, I'm here for the Evan Mendoza interview. And he said, question, advice for young content creators trying to replicate what you do. And I know you touched on this a little bit, but also, I mean, hey, let's be real. You have more of a following than probably almost any minor leaguer, even the Ellie De La Cruz, Jackson Churio types of talent, and many major leaguers as well. So it's a different way for you to connect with your audience.
Yeah. So I think trial and error. I think that's the most important thing. Whatever profession, whatever career you go down, you're not a professional from day one. You start learning from somewhere. And you can, of course, go back, way back to the first ever videos I posted on TikTok where I was really just experimenting. I had no clue what I was doing, but over time, you'll be rewarded by the editing process, the script that you might write, just the authentic storytelling that you might be able to do. So there's definitely different avenues. For me personally, I think the thing that I wish I learned sooner was understand my why, understand why I'm doing it. If you are able to do that from day one, I think you're not going to ever get burnt out. You're going to always understand why you're doing it, helping out kids, helping them, excel, reach that next level, get better at baseball. Of course, the social media side of things could help you even get a college commitment. And nowadays, I think Twitter is a big one for, getting committed. I don't really use Twitter too much. But anyway, you're able to reach so many people. So trial and error, understand that you're going to fail. There's a lot of failure in baseball. So there's no, don't overthink it too much. Just click post and, try it out and see what happens.
Love that. Awesome, man. Hey, AJ's a creator every day now. Kratzy is. Kratzy
too much.
Different.
Kratzy's got a TikTok with 2.2 million views or something like that on it, just telling a story.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, I think the cool thing is we're all baseball players here. It's for me to come up here.
Whoa. Stop.
Sorry, Scott. Sorry, Scott.
No, I like to remove myself from this conversation.
We get the game. Either way, it's like if I came up here and said, hey, everyone needs to do social media, I think that would just come off so wrong. Of course, that's like asking everyone in this room to be a rapper. Obviously, it's a creative space that you have to be in. And at the end of the day, we play baseball, we talk baseball, we're baseball people. And for me to say, Jonesy, you have to do social media, the content has to be perfect. No, that's not the way it has to be. You, of course, focus on baseball as your priority. That's your career. I think it's just essential to dive in, invest maybe a little bit of money to have an editor or to have someone help you in that process. That way you can have a presence leading up. Of course, if we're using the baseball example, if you're grinding through the minor leagues, hopefully that day when you do make that debut, you're already going to have that fan base waiting for you, cheering you on, also following your journey. I think that's the cool part about it.
I love that. Hey, Evan, great catching up with you, man. We appreciate it. And keep doing your thing, all right?
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, guys. I really
Good
appreciate
luck soon,
it.
brother.
Yes. Evan Mendoza in the Padres minor league system, and you can follow him on IG at E_Mendoza18 or TikTok Evan_Mendoza. Our TikTok, I don't want to brag, but it's gotten a lot of play this weekend. We
better hit above the damn Mendoza line all over.
Too. Yeah, exactly. Well, he's rehabbing. He'll be back. He'll do his thing. All right, let's get hot for 10 minutes. Hot corner time, and I want to start off with something that will definitely be covered multiple times this week, because when Todd Frazier's here, we will cover it again. Jose Abreu, and we have the video. So we're going to run not just his first home run of the season, his first home run since September. I think it's his first home run in 283 plate appearances.
263.
263. Okay. Let's run it.
Look at mood within 2 games of the Rangers, who lost earlier today. Abreu hits one high in the air, deep to left field, all the way back. Brown, he's near the wall. He jumps, it's gone! There you go! Jose Abreu's first home run as an Astro, and he's sprinting around the bases like he has never hit one before. He is going to fly into home plate, and the Astros lead 7-1. He can't wait to celebrate.
Look at this crew. They love this guy. This is awesome. They were all out of the dugout waiting for Jose.
I mean, that's awesome. That's a veteran getting after it. Apparently, the A's were kind of pissed about this because they hit him. Did they hit him on purpose?
Dude, 11-45, save it.
I know, but he got hit.
Yeah.
And then did you see, everyone was staring at the A's?
That's brutal, dude. Listen, the guy, oh, come on. The slide was actually the part that did it. And last night on the Astros broadcast, They did a breakdown of his sprint speed, and it was epic. I mean, Blum and those boys over in Houston, that was epic.
So why are the baby A's pissed off about
dude, who
it?
cares? They got like nobody that can hit a homer. Who cares, dude? Shut up, Oakland A's players.
Somebody
the guy
come
was
out and
having
say
fun.
they're pissed?
Well, they hit him.
I don't think they hit him on purpose.
You think it was?
I didn't see it, but why would they hit him? The guy. Okay, we just
I
talked
agree.
about having fun, right, Jonesy? Like the guy was having fun. He hadn't hit a home run 260 at bat.
Right.
Guess what? He's not like he stood there and watched it. He damn ran faster than Adam Rosales, who everyone was like, "Oh, look how fast Adam Rosales runs." Dude, that guy was having fun, man. It was 7-1. He wasn't showing anybody else. He actually was showing himself up.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
He's making fun of himself.
One of the game's most prolific hitters over the last decade, and he has going through his first home run on the 29th. The 28th of May. But damn, he was making fun of himself.
Catcher was staring at him when he ran towards the dugout.
Man, I don't even know who their catcher is.
Do you know who?
Langoliers.
Langoliers.
Langoliers is good.
Yeah,
he
ain't good enough to stare down Jose Abreu.
No, the A's in general should not. I mean, no team should give a shit.
No, I don't think they care. I have a hard time believing they cared.
But if you think they don't think they threw at him.
I don't think
they better not have.
The pitch looked very intentional.
We need to find it and bring it up. So come on,
Yeah, I gotta see that because I've seen them trying to throw strikes too, and that hasn't been happening too much either. So.
The catcher was staring at him because he probably never seen anything like that. So he's just probably watching it. I'm like, what's this dude doing? And then if I was catching, I'd be like, what's this dude doing sprinting? And then you see him and he slides, and I'd be like, okay, first home run all year, 263 at bats since the last one. I get it.
And it's not like you don't know the guy. You know who he is.
Yeah.
He's not a no name.
Yeah. They know. He won an MVP.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good. So a little more beef between the two teams. This since deleted tweet from the Houston Astros social media manager, 10 runs in front of 10 fans, and then they had to take it down.
Why'd they have to take
you're
it down?
in trouble. That's why I'm bringing this up.
Why'd they have to take it down?
Who cares? This is funny. And what do you
actually is kind of funny.
You worried that it's going to be bulletin board material for the A's?
Ooh.
What are they going to do?
MLB had to tell them to take it down.
You think? I mean,
MLB told them. That didn't come.
That is such like a playful. Hey, I mean,
think it's funny.
We were talking about.
You can't do that part. You can't go on there. You can't. I think that is a little.
What
you
part?
can go back and forth. I see, like you can go back and forth like the Orioles and the Yankees were.
Yes.
You know how they jibber jabber. But I think talking about attendance is like a slight at the ownership I think I think fans can do it. I don't think the Twitter account of the Houston Astros.
Who cares?
Yeah, broadcasters do it.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Dude, ask him boy Manfred next time you see him. Ask him why they got.
I guarantee you,
and
Rob doesn't care.
See him in London.
I guarantee you, Rob would say, "I don't care." It's funny.
The Orioles and the Yankees one, what was it like players? Something like gonna.
Yeah,
score,
that's what he was talking
players
about.
Gonna hate it.
Players gonna play whatever, and then the Orioles were like haters
had
gonna
that
hate.
That was great.
Yeah,
that was funny as hell too. I think it's good.
It's in the same category.
Dude,
There's no personal
the Astros
offense.
sell out every damn game, and they're taking a shot at a team that's trying to lose every game.
Help me out in the comments, everyone. Who are you bothering there? Even A's fans would think that's funny and awesome.
Yeah, the 200 to show up.
You want everybody to agree on one thing in life? Ask them about A's ownership right now. You want world peace? Say A's ownership, go. And everyone will be sitting hands across each other around the campfire. No?
Yeah, maybe not.
Who likes A's ownership right now?
I can't comment on that, but there's some people out there.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
The family of the A's ownership.
Yeah, the families, the owner. The guy who's,
okay, so
if he has kids and he's like stroking them checks, he probably.
So 10 people, and how many people are in the world right now?
I don't know.
6 trillion or something?
Lot. Not
7.8 billion.
Okay. So 7.8 billion and 10 people are on the other side. Just saying, that's a fun topic for everyone. Let the tweeters tweet.
I like those. I like the accounts. When I was with the Brewers and we won the division, they were going back and forth the whole year with the Cubs. And they took a picture of, you know how the Cubs fly the flags, and it's like it's in the order of who wins the division, second, third, all that, all the way down. And they just took a picture of it after the last game, and it just said, asking for a friend, will this be up all off season? and it's just a picture of the Brewers and then the Cubs in second place, Cardinals in third, and so on and so on. I think that kind of stuff's fun. And I think this was, I don't know, I'd have to ask you, Jonesy, like, you think this was from, like, you can't, like, that's where you can't go? You can't, argue attendance? Or you can't joke about attendance?
I mean, I don't know. I just think that when you just be like, haha, nobody was there at your game, that's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
But broadcasters
one
do
team
it.
gets 47,000, one team gets 47. I mean,
that's the fact.
I know.
They said tens of fans.
Tens of fans. I think that's hilarious.
In front of
I think
tens
it's
of
friggin'
fans.
awesome. I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome too. And broadcasters do it though. Like local team broadcasters usually are team employees essentially. They will say, well, it's all I've seen them do it with Marlins games. Oh, no one's here anyway. I'm like, you damn sure can do it for A's games then. There's less people at A's games. I'll tell you that.
Come dress
What do
as
you
a
think the
seat night.
attendance of that game was?
Well, the paid official announced attendance or the real attendance?
The announced attendance.
8650.
8,800. 8,809.
Where?
In Oakland. That's what the paid attendance was. 8,809.
Paid attendance.
What is those like lifelong season tickets? Are they for like people that died and forgot to renew them? That's
the ownership, the whole family. They get like
That's
the extended family.
They get their own section.
Yeah, counts for 8,000.
I wonder how that works. I wonder how that works. The season tickets, even if they don't go, is that a paid attendance?
Yes.
Okay.
Tickets bought. It's not tickets people that actually
bought.
show up.
Paid
Tickets
attendance.
bought.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Much more important topic coming up next as the latest piece of Schmidt in baseball, Casey on the Giants, is feeding Mitch Haniger a legal substance that is improving his play.
What have you thought of the way Haniger started sort of coming around here in the last 3 4
Yeah, I've been giving him a little sour patch before every game. Did it yesterday and did it again today, and he had home runs in both games. So yeah, he's fun to watch. It's really cool to see how everyone come together, and it's going really cool.
Sour patch like the candy?
Just one. Just one singular one.
Has to be the same flavor.
No, I think I gave him I don't know which I don't know what the flavor was today, but it was I gave him one today and yesterday.
More of that, please, because there's nothing worse than an interview in the clubhouse. Yeah, we're just he's playing well, doing his best, giving it his all. Like, give me something. All right, I'm giving him Sour Patch Kids.
We had remember Carlos Quentin?
Yep.
Joe Creedy would take an animal cracker and put it in his locker every day, and he would get so mad and he would break it. And so finally they got Creedy back and they took watermelon, I think, and put it in his shoes. And when he put his shoes on, in his shoes.
Should have just eaten the cracker.
Yeah, but it was because they used to like take Carlos Quentin's suit jacket we had to wear, and Creedy would ball it up like this big, and he'd be like, "Here, rookie, take your jacket back."
Quentin was a big dude too.
I know, but he was nice. He's a nice guy.
Poor Quentin.
It was pretty funny. They went back and forth for a while on each other.
All right, that's good stuff. Next up, so apparently, and I didn't catch this moment live, but I believe Brian Hook, friend of the show, he knows what he's talking about. Let's show. He had a couple good tweets from the weekend. One is, he goes, the Apple TV Plus broadcast just issued an RIP to Tom Selleck, who is very much alive.
That's very odd that Apple TV, why the heck would they even put that out there?
I don't remember. Oh, I think they were talking about Mr. Baseball, maybe?
Oh,
you know how he was in that movie
still,
from billion years ago?
Dude, you got to be 1,000,000% sure
that someone's dead?
Yeah.
That's even more. That's even worse than like if you see somebody you think's pregnant. If you're not sure, you just don't say it.
Tom Selleck, like his PR will put out something.
Tom is alive.
He's on that show. What's the cop show? Because he still has the mustache.
He's on a show now?
Yeah. And Chicago something?
Chicago Fire?
Something. I don't know. He's on a show where he's a cop and he has a perfect mustache for it.
Stay tuned.
Career-defining role.
Great stash.
Yeah, imagine if you're Tom Selleck, you're watching the game, and they're like, Tom, we miss you, man. It's like,
oh, man.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no kidding.
I'd start like, am I dreaming? Did I die?
I died. Nobody told me.
Shit.
Nobody told me. Pretty sure that's how it happens.
Blue Bloods.
There you go.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
How old is Tom Selleck? Give me a quick guess without looking.
He's got to be almost 70.
Yeah, I was
64.
64. You guys are all way off. He's 78.
Damn.
He's got to be 70.
Not a baby dude, Mr. Tom.
Next up, Brian Hoke on Anthony Rizzo's positioning, which he's been doing this for years. It's just not many others go this close, as some call it the kamikaze draw-in. This is real tight. And also, I mean, when pitchers were hitting, you had a lot more of this going on.
Yeah, still does.
We're showing Anthony Rizzo, by the way, for the podcast crowd. How many feet away from home plate?
He's 45 feet at most.
Right.
He's halfway, over halfway, 40 feet away from home plate.
Imagine if you hit a rocket.
It's his fault.
Why do you have to be that close?
He doesn't. That's his own fault. If he gets to lose his teeth, that's his own fault.
Yeah. That's really close.
Is somebody yelling Bush League if you try to hit a rocket at him?
No, I'm not.
You know somebody is.
I'm trying to hit a rocket at
yelling.
Yeah, that's a free knock, dude. Right at him. He's ducking.
Yeah.
The old slash play, Butcher Boy, they don't do it anymore ever because we don't bunt or do anything else.
Is that even allowed in high school anymore?
Butcher Boy?
Yeah. We do it. It works.
You do it?
Yeah, it works. Dude, get bunt, fake bunt. They all charge. You want to see full fire drill? People just hitting the ground all over the field.
People everywhere.
Panic. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was illegal in high school now.
Maybe there's a lot of things in Pennsylvania. Eye black's illegal there. I mean, I don't know. In Florida, we let everything happen in Florida.
I want to jump to something very baseball-y, and it's about parody, and I love it. So Bob Nightingale sent out a tweet, and I believe this was when I saw it yesterday, so there could be a slight tweak to this, but you get the idea of how tight the National League is. And, of course, we'll be talking a lot of trades when it gets closer, but some teams have to fall out of it for them to actually want to make moves. So Bob said, you want parity or is it mediocrity? But every team in the National League is within 4.5 games of a playoff berth. Only 6 of the 15 teams have a winning record. So parity and mediocrity, but still parity, which will make it tough for teams to fall out. Actually, Jim Bowden, who I listen to all the time, said, what I like to do is actually times it by 3. You're a third into the year. If a team's like 5 games out, in my mind, they're really 15 out, which I get. But also at the same time, there could be a team that makes a run. So it just makes it tough to find who the sellers are. Even when we're talking White Sox, you're like, yeah, they're not going to make moves necessarily. Well, then who is? The A's, they don't have anyone to trade. So who's making moves? You need sellers. It's going to happen. I'm just saying. There's a lot of parity.
Another month, it'll happen.
Yeah.
When teams officially believe they're out of it, because everyone's like, it's still early. Well, you're almost 60 games in now. It's getting late early.
Who's selling right now? Besides, obviously, Oakland, but they don't have anything to sell.
They don't have much.
Kansas City selling. Wait. Cincinnati swept the Cubs this past weekend. They're 24-29. They're 4 games out of first place. The Cardinals made a little push, and then they kind of chilled out again. I think they're going to be fine, but the Central is not great.
Do you really think the Cincinnati Reds are going to make the playoffs?
No.
Okay. That's all I need to hear.
But what if they play 500 ball the next 2 months?
Then they still don't make the playoffs.
They still don't make the playoffs, so who cares?
They'll
sell what they can because you know why? Because their owner, like the A's guy, doesn't really care about making it.
Right. They want to make money.
Okay?
True. A lot of their guys, though, are young.
Rockies, do they have any bullpen pieces? Brad Hand?
Rockies will make moves. Maybe Daniel Bard this time.
Daniel Bard. I mean, they have any starters that anybody would want?
There's probably a few position players on that group.
They could probably find,
Yeah.
CJ Crone, he gone.
We always say that.
They always say that. And he always stays there and he resigns.
He signed a longer. Isn't
what about who else? National League West, Padres.
Brent Doyle. Teams?
Giants,
like San Francisco, Arizona, LA.
Yeah, they're all kind of alive.
There's one seller in the West, Colorado. In the Central, eventually.
Kansas City, they might have some bullpen pieces.
Yeah, Kansas City for sure. But in the NL Central, maybe Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Cubs actually were talked about.
Yeah, but they're not going to sell because they got. I don't know.
Maybe Stroman. He's free agent.
Yeah, he would be maybe.
That's a good
pickup.
pickup.
Maybe get somebody for him.
And one team, maybe 2 actually, in the East. The Nats for sure.
Even though they don't really have.
No, they don't have much. Like a Finnegan in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And then Miami, even though right now they're 28-26, and they'd be pissed if I say that. So I'm just saying.
Miami's going to hold steady till the end until see what happens.
They have enough starting pitching.
Yeah.
Not a lot of guys to trade then right now for trade talks. And let's finish with this. And I will give our director a moment to cue it up because it's important. And I don't know, someone tell me, are we going to run this with the sound or are we going to do play-by-play of this famous high school championship game that we have 2 high school coaches here that upset them, to say the least, Kratzy and AJ.
I hope the sound is on there because
Adam, did you see this, by the way?
it's distraught.
I have not.
Okay, it's a VO, so we're just going to talk through it.
There's
right
so
now.
many things that happen.
Who's
going to
do the play-by-play? Because it's not me. I quit
Well,
play-by-play.
Kratz did his first game, so let's hear it.
All right,
this weekend.
Kratz, ready? Let's run it. It's two rando high school teams. The last pitch. Go ahead. Cornell and
Called third strike that was dropped by the catcher. He went to tag him. Umpire made no motion at all. He just stood there and watched him. He didn't say no, didn't tag him. You see the runner in the background continually running. There goes one run that crosses the plate for both teams that are in red. There goes another run that just crosses the plate. Now the coaches are out, and here comes another kid. Obviously didn't need that third run because all they needed was 2. They were losing by 5-4. The thing, like, there's so much to unpack here, and we're going to unpack it. Like, the coaches, the kid slams his glove. There's another kid that doesn't even have his jersey on that's out there. And the other team's celebrating right now. And the umpires are going to get together. And the stance by the home plate umpire for me, as they're talking to him, is just like, well, you know what? I'm going to pretty much tell you what's happening here. And then they don't even discuss it. He goes over and talks to their coaches or whoever he talks to, and they tell him it's the game. And they get to celebrate again.
There's so much wrong with this play.
Everything.
So the biggest thing for me is the catcher. He like almost like tried to tag the guy, and he looked back at the umpire, and the umpire just stood there like. So he should have known he didn't tag him. The catcher takes the ball, sticks in his pocket.
Yep.
Runs out there, jumping up and down. The second baseman's like, dude, the game's not over, and everyone's throwing crap all over the field. And no one knew where the ball was because it was in the catcher's pocket. No one ran over, and then all the runners just.
He did the Minkiewicz.
Yeah, he did the Minkiewicz. So then all hell breaks loose, and the coach comes out and argues, well, guess what? It's your catcher's fault. All you got to do is throw it to first, tag the guy. We won a game last year just like this. Just like.
Did you get it on video?
They video all their games.
I could have found it, but so we were losing 1-0 last year at home. Bottom of the 7th inning, bases loaded. Our kid strikes out. The catcher, all he had to do was touch home plate. He doesn't touch home plate. He throws it to first, pulls the first baseman off the bag. So 1 run scores to tie the game. Their coaches come out, argue. The first baseman throws everything. Our next runner just goes, dude, safe at home. Coach fires his skull cap. Pitcher throws his glove hat. There's shit flying everywhere. We win 2-1. It wasn't for the state championship, but it was the same thing. All the catcher had to do was touch home plate. The game's over. Instead, he throws it to first, throws it away. All hell breaks loose. We win 2-1.
That is insane.
I mean, and then I knew the coaches on the other team, so it was obvious that we were not going to let that go.
Yeah, you still text him every day.
The head coach I grew up around the corner from me, so I've known him forever. And the other coach is on the travel ball organization, is a catching guy. So I'm like, all you got to do is tell your catcher to touch on home plate. And he's like, don't get me started. And every time I see him, like, you touch home plate yet?
That's bad. That was for the championship.
I don't think it was the state championship. I tried to look into more of it. It was like the Section 5 championships. I think it was up because they said it was at Batavia. Did you guys ever play at Batavia? The short season. It was like the New York Penn League for the Phillies for years.
You play with Quentin Berry up there? That's my boy. He played up there in 06.
Yeah, no, I didn't come up with the Phillies, but we played against them on the reg.
Said it sucked.
That play went incredibly viral.
And people were saying it was me in 05 when I ran when Josh Paul didn't catch the ball and didn't tag me. I was like, well, it only led to us winning the next day and getting a World Series ring, so it's kind of similar.
Same.
Yeah, yours is on a little larger scale, but the celebrating that was going on during that time period was incredible. And just watching the runners in the background. Hey, good hustle by the home team.
Both teams got to celebrate. How many championship games did both teams get to celebrate?
Multiple times.
True.
It reminds me in 2000, White Sox won the division. We were playing them in Minnesota. We hit a walk. I think Matt Lawton hit a walk-off homer. Well, they had just clinched the division because the Indians at the time had lost. So both teams were on the field jumping up and down at the same time because we walked them off and they had won the division. So it was like two teams.
Come on, for real?
I swear. I think it was Matt Lund hit a walk-off homer, and the Indians lost. So during the game, the White Sox knew they won the division, and so both teams were celebrating on the field.
We got to get video of that. Were you guys conversing at all? Like, did you guys cheers to each other? Like, hey, you got the walk-off. We got the division.
I mean, they were a little bit happier than we were.
Yeah.
Clearly, they won the division.
Or vice versa. Yes. Yeah. Walk-off and division. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little locks action, shall we? Let's backtrack first. Your Bet MGM locks for Tuesday. First, we look back at a miserable Friday for Erik and me. Semien over 1.5 total bases in that Rangers game where I was like, oh, I think they're going to score a lot. They did. They scored double-digit runs. Semien was probably the only dude that didn't. He got a single, but that's not enough. And then Mullins for you, Kratzy in the same game. They didn't score much. What did they put up, like a run or two?
Two.
Yeah, terrible.
I got baited into that pick.
By me?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
and Todd Father, yep. Best bet of the year. Just go hard against the A's in any way that you can. You attack the A's whenever you have a shot.
Except for Kratz yesterday bet.
Except for Oakland and Kratz. We have the screenshot. Yes, folks. Somebody bet for the Oakland A's. Not a lot. $10. But he won. Plus 200. A's money line last night. And they beat the Atlanta Braves. And I am shocked that the money line was only at plus 200 for that game. Kratzy, good for you. You're the true champion.
They knew about. I've been watching it the whole time. I'm like, man, there's got to be a day when Oakland's going to win. And I'm like, I'm picking it. And I can show you my entire log. I didn't pick another day that Oakland was going to win at all. Like I haven't done this at all the whole year. And I'm like, holy crap. They're making Atlanta after that night game against Philly fly all the way out there. I'm like, I'm thinking Nerfy, maybe a Nerfy. And then I'm like, no. Plus 200? I'm putting 10 bones down on that spot.
Hey, that's the hangover. That's the Monday hangover. It's real. Money bags quick for you, and then we'll run through what we've got today. I'm slipping. Jonesy's actually going to have to lead us off today. 4-3.
Same.
Up 200. Slipping a little, but still in good shape. So let's run it right now. Your Bet MGM locks of the day for Tuesday. Adam Jones at 4-3, up 200. You're going to go first. Who do you got?
I got the Dodgers. I got them beating the Nationals. It is the Dodgers are very tough at home. You got Tony Gonsolin throwing. He's fantastic at home and just overall. Their offense is spectacular. You'd be a fool not to take them. Again, the Nationals are very good, very young. Anything can happen. But I got Gonsolin throwing and just the Dodgers winning.
You've got run line. 2.5.
Oh, I got the run line 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah, plus 100.
The Dodgers have enough offense, and it's like when the Dodgers get to the 6th and 7th inning, that's when they'll be like 2-1, and then just look again, it's like 7. So their offense is just crazy, and it just happens in bunches. So I think they're going to win by 2.5.
Picking on trends,
3.
And so is AJ.
Yeah, I'm riding the Brian Bayo train. Woo, woo, everyone jump on. Over 5.5. Every time it's 5.5, 5.5 strikeouts, 5.5. So I'm going 220, I think it is 230 to win 200. It's minus 115.
It's minus 110.
Oh, it went down
right now.
Even better. Great. So I'll less money to win more.
So 220 for 200.
200. And it's also what I found. What I found interesting was over 5.5 was minus 110, and under 5.5 was the same number. So I think he's going to get 5.5 strikeouts, which
yeah, it's pretty much.
I don't know how you get 5.5.
It's pretty much even. 110 means it's pretty much a pick 'em.
I understand that, but I think he's going to get 5.5. So how do you get the half strikeout?
Well, they're winning either way. 110.
I know.
So
I know, but I'm riding the Brian Bayo train. Yeah. Plus, he's pitching in Cincinnati, and they strike out a lot.
Yeah, that's a low number for me. I agree. I think it should have been 6.5. Right?
Okay, Jinx.
Okay, I'll text you when he's at 5.
Jinxie cat.
I'll text you when he's at 5 through 4, and he's got like 60 pitches.
Exactly.
And he won't strike anyone out for like 3 innings.
You're the king of that.
I got you. I'll be watching.
Don't do that to him, Scott.
Thank you. I might though, because he's feisty today. Minus 130 money line for Texas to beat Detroit. I just still think Detroit with this 500-ish start is going to get overvalued by everyone, including a lot of bettors, a heavy handle on Detroit tonight. So it brought the Texas money line, at least at the time, down to minus 130. I mean, they shut out Detroit 5-0 on Monday. Corey Seager looks great. Offense is much better than Detroit's offense. And the reason that it's close there is Alex Faedo, who's pitched well. And I actually tried to fade him last time. It did not work out, but I'm trying again with Martin Perez. So we'll see what happens. Kratzy?
I'm going to go with the Nerfy in the Phillies, Mets. The Mets just have a tough time scoring runs early. They have a really tough time scoring runs early against lefties. Ranger, the Suarez is going up against the Ghost Fork in Senga. I'm going to go Nerfy early. We're going to go minus 115. I think it came off at. So
correct.
Excited.
Senga screwed me last time.
He's a total roller coaster.
Dude, he could walk 4 guys in the first inning. I mean, gosh.
As long as there's a double play before they score a run, I don't care.
Stuff is there. That's true. That's true.
That is true.
There's your picks, and it's Bet 10. Get a hundo instantly on a Tuesday. Sign up and deposit at least $10 into your newly created account. Download the Bet MGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, and you place a pregame moneyline wager of at least $10 on any MLB team to win at standard odds price. Then you'll get $100 in bonus bets instantly. And if you sign up in Massachusetts or Ohio, it's $200 in bonus bets. Got to use the bonus code Spicy MLB for your people here at FT Live. Always bet responsibly. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we have a few things to cover in Slap Hands. And before we get to it, just a shout out on my end for a couple things we didn't have time for today. Number one, Craig Kimbrel, congratulations. 8th pitcher to reach 400 saves. That's good shit. Hard to do, especially nowadays when teams don't pick closers half the time, but he's a guy.
And everyone's doing it against the Braves, their old team.
Yeah. Well,
he's
for
in
Craig,
the book. And Kenley.
Right, but for Craig, that's a big part of his. Right, I know Kenley, played on the Braves too, but for Craig, that's a long career. Yeah, he was saying it was cool for him to do it against Atlanta, and also Grayson Rodriguez a couple days ago sent down by the Baltimore Orioles. He's got stuff for days, but for now, 7.35 ERA through 10 starts. Time to work on things a little bit, which is totally normal. It's okay. Not every player comes up and is incredible from day one, even though he's a top prospect. Now let's slap hands.
Ball.
By the way, one other interesting note that emerged, I think, during the show, pointed out by our smart fans, Robert Murray from Fanside had said the Orioles have serious interest in Aaron Hicks because Cedric Mullins has the right abductor groin strain, and Hicks at 33. Does he have anything left in the tank?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He'll get out of New
He'll
York.
probably play well, right?
Yeah. Be revitalized,
I think so. Yeah.
Re-energized. Yeah.
I agree. Change of scenery.
Plus, he gets in their division. He's like, screw you, Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
Shove it now.
That'd be awesome.
Yep. And a good offense there, too. Kratz hats, what do you got today?
My freshman year hat from EMU. I found this thing. I mean, we got one hat. We didn't get a new hat every year at school. See all the sweat and everything on that thing? Eastern Mennonite University. Epic hat.
That hat had better days.
I would not call it epic. It's something. It's got to be stanky.
It hasn't been worn in probably 15, 20 years.
That is sticky stuff hat.
That is. I would not put that on my head.
Yeah.
Especially if I am no hair to protect it.
There's a questionable hat.
That's okay.
But I like the ones that have been through a lot, He's digging it up into the archives. Yeah. I have a promo. So Fair Territory is up everywhere on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Ken Rosenthal's weekly show. Episodes drop every Monday, except for a holiday weekend. So Tuesday's show is fresh, and you can catch it wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. Big props that he gave to Liam Hendriks, just like we did at the top of the show. He went over some teams that were off to disappointing starts that might not rebound. Also went over what Ellie De La Cruz could bring to the Reds and how Jonathan India might have to switch positions, which we talked about with C. Trent Rosecrans last week. And also I heard Marcus Stroman conversations because Stroh wants to resign, but the Cubs kind of suck again. So they're trying to figure out what to do there because you could get a lot for him and the Cubs need more in their farm system. So stay tuned. And Stroh was great yesterday again. 1-0 over Tampa Bay.
One hitter,
one walk, 8 Ks. Also 8 Ks. I mean, Stroh's got it going right now. And you have last licks today.
Yeah, I want you guys' opinion on this. So this weekend, my son played in a perfect game tournament down in Fort Myers, and the kid, we're going to hopefully have I think we have the video here. Here, Jordan Marlowe, great swing. Everyone thinks it's a home run. And on the left, you see his dad, Kratz. He's the first base coach. Celebrated like they just won the World Series. You can see him jumping up and down there. Best part of this, it wasn't a home run. It bounced over the fence. Umpires called it a home run. Dad threw the confetti as a coach. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, my son hit a home run. I'm like, first of all, it wasn't a home run. Second of all, you're a coach, dude. Like, you want to play dad? It's not dad on the field. Kratz, thoughts?
What? That's his dad, and he was out at home plate?
He was the first base coach, beat the players to home plate.
Oh my gosh. Like my hands just started sweating. Like I don't know how to
exactly.
Oh,
no, listen, in all fairness.
He was excited.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah. I know he was. But listen, Chris, his name's Chris. Great guy. I love him. Love his kid, Jordan, the kid that hit the ball. It was all like I told him I was going to get on him on the show, so he know. So before everyone's like, "You're so mean," I had already warned him. I'm like, "You're getting it."
He just broke his computer screen.
I'm like, "No," I told him, "I go, you're getting it on our show tomorrow." And then the other coach was like, "As long as I ain't on there, I don't care what he does." And I was like, "Okay." But yeah, so shout out to Jordan, great swing. It wasn't a homer. I'm happy they gave us a homer because we won the game. But yeah, if you're a coach, right, Kratz, you can't act like you just won the World Series when I think it was 7-1 or something at the time.
Well, for sure not. Was that his first ever over the fence homer?
It didn't go over the fence. It bounced over the fence.
Okay, well, was it first ever called?
No.
Oh, man. Sorry, Chris. I don't know you, but I love your energy, but, man, stay in the box, kid.
Stay in that box. Who is it? Pete Walker's going, get yourself back
I've never
in
seen
that
a coach
box.
run down the line, jumping up and down like this, and then meet the team and beat the players to meet the kid that hit the home run. Right?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite is he had the travel ball Florida coaching gear out. Like the fishing shirt that goes all the way down with the hood, the bucket hat. Like he was staying out of the sun. You guys are going to play 16 games to win a little trophy that's like this big or a plaque.
7 games in 3 days.
Then you have to go back to school on Monday morning.
No, we're out of school, bro. We've been out for weeks now.
Yeah, Florida doesn't do school.
We're out, dude. We're good. Yeah.
Jonesy, where are you going? Where are you going next in the world?
I will be in Sevilla.
Casual.
Friends. Yeah, go have some paella and go look at some architectures and some cathedrals and all of this other beautiful Spanish stuff.
Well, enjoy it. We're here tomorrow. Legends Territory Part 2 with Doug Minkiewicz, which that's already been picked up everywhere. Part 1. Part 2 has the real story about the 2004 ball and the battle he had with ownership, how he coached Byron Buxton in the minors, but thinks the Twins messed up on the development of him and many other top prospects. More Jeter stories. Ken Golden, the Netflix King of Collectibles doc. Did you see it? I didn't see it either. I'm going to try to catch an episode tonight. He's joining us on Wednesdays, FT Live. So we'll see y'all then. Good Tuesday for you.